I think they love me. I think they love me now. I think they love me.
Who do you see when you look at me?
I think they love me.
'Cause I do not recognize the man inside the mirror. They feast on my dreams. I'm not who I seem to be. And somehow I lost myself along the way. Losing my sanity over strangers. When they see your wounds, it gets dangerous. Can I be myself? Is it safe yet? Yeah. Or should I hide my lies and keep on running? Take my chances, all I know. And I smile, but life is misery. I hide my pain in this melody. They see my scars and all run from me. I don't know what they want from me. Can I find peace? Yeah, would they finally see me? Can I love myself? Can I love myself? Can I love myself? Can I love myself? Can I love myself?
I think they love me. I think they love me.
Trapped inside this maze, it's amazing. My phone's off, so don't call me crazy. I'll show you what you want to see from me. But do you know me? I let the likes in the gram, it controls me. It's like the lights in the camera can know me. Yeah. One day I'll find my identity. For now, losing my sanity over strangers. When they see your wounds, it gets dangerous. Can I be myself? Is it safe yet? Yeah. Or should I hide my lies and keep on running? Take my chances, all I know. And I smile, but life is misery. I hide my pain in this melody. They see my scars and all run from me. I don't know what they want from me.
I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back. I know that. I know the kid with the bull, tell them all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble on, I ramble on. I'm about to get my ramble on. And I'm the one they really
I'm
couldn't
about
get
to
a
get
handle
my
on.
Rambo on. Oh, yes, baby. The designated spitters are here to make you guys relax a little bit because there's some other baseball games on, but let's be honest, nobody really gives a poot. We got one question. Where's Hal? All right? All right, no, I'm not going to go into that. I promised myself I'm not going to go into a big Where's Hal rant right now today. It's making headlines, the Where's Hal, though. A lot of people have been asking me, they've been like, Pete, can we get shirts? Should we put up billboards around the city? I'm like, maybe, but the main thing is to make sure he's okay. I don't know if he's even safe right now.
We don't know anything about him right now. He could be at the bottom of the Hudson right now for all we know. We have no idea. I mean, has anybody know the last whereabouts of one Hal Steinbrenner? I don't know.
No, we don't know. We don't know anything about him. It was like the start of a documentary. Right
literally.
there.
I mean, it's so funny because the documentary would have to start with, well, the last time, in the public eye, people saw he was with Donald Trump. And then
yeah. And that's going to be the whole conspiracy. What happened after that? What was it? Where's the connection here?
And then
boom.
It's hilarious, bro. Honestly,
you want to know something even funnier though? Now that you mentioned that, if I go on Getty Images and I look up Hal Steinbrenner, do you know there's barely photos of this man?
It's all the same picture.
He never comes out.
It's all the same. It's so funny.
I don't even know if he's real.
It's so funny you bring that up because when we're working on the clips, like for the reels and stuff like that, like whenever, throughout the season that I've mentioned Hal or something like that, like I'll go looking for like a photo to throw into the reel, like to have it, as a part of the reel or whatever. And every time I search Hal Steinbrenner, it's the same pictures that come up. Like literally, I feel like it's the same 4 or 5 pictures that come up. There's nothing different. It's the same exact ones. And I'm just like, bro, is this man like how is it possible? Like he's one of the only billionaires that owns a high profile team, and I'm talking super high profile.
The highest profile team.
The dude's digital footprint is like this freaking tall. And
Yeah,
I mean, his real footprint is probably not that much bigger, but I'm just saying, my brother, like, where is this guy? Like, how is he able to hide this way?
it's really, honestly, there's a part of me that says it's rather impressive. But then there's another part of me that's like, you know what? I love this damn team, damn it. And my owner should love this team more than I do. And I believe that's not the case at all. But ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to the Designated Spitters, folks. This is going to be a big episode. We're going to look at all things. I do want Francis to have a little bit of time to talk about what happened because he didn't have a chance to just give any of his thoughts whatsoever at all because the Yankees lost and we had to kind of move on immediately to other things. But we're going to talk about the Yankees free agents, who we'd bring back from that list, talk about them a little bit, and then some names. Now, look, don't get me wrong, guys. It is October 12th. There are a whole lot of things that could change very quickly. We don't know the names that are available via trade. We don't know what team is going to come out there and say, hey, this guy's available. We don't know any of that. All we're doing here is early offseason. The Yankees are eliminated. Where do we feel the big weaknesses are, and who are some names or a name that can plug in to make this club better? There's still so much to talk about. Yes, of course, we're going to start and talk with leadership. But Francis, I want to turn it over to you a little bit here. If you want to just move on, go right ahead. But if you want to, what were your thoughts, your feelings? Yankees dropped it. They were done. You did disappear for a minute. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
you weren't around much at all. But you tend to do that. That's obvious. I get it. When the Yankees
big
lose,
losses, I'll tell you, I'll be real with you, man. A big loss like that on Twitter, you're not gonna see.
You become Hal Steinbrenner a little bit.
Yeah, literally, I do go a little bit of Hal. I got to be real with people. I think initially, bro, it's just the reason I got to stay away from Twitter is because Twitter is such a toxic place.
It is very.
And so I know that immediately, like once I log in, I know the stuff I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see Toronto fans adding me, saying things, trying to like get me riled up or whatever. And it's like, I mean, do I trust myself not to respond to them in like the most disrespectful way? Not really. And at the end of the day, it's like, look, the Yankees lost here. NYYU, however, did not lose. But I could take a loss if I go out there and say or do something stupid because the Yankees lost. So I'm like, you know what? Pull back. Stay off the socials, for the night or whatever. Yeah. And really, I literally, like, if the only people who kind of get to talk to me in those moments, it's pretty much just Pete and the team. Like, just be like, we're talking in our chat, like, yeah, man, this shit is crazy or whatever. And I think my initial reaction was just like, I mean, yeah, disgust. Honestly, just disgust at Game 4. I mean, for you to have that kind of Game 3, right, where Aaron Judge seemingly has his Yankees postseason moment, a 3-run home run on the most
unbelievable moment, great moment.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, hands down, I think it's the moment of the postseason, which it's a very short postseason, not a successful postseason at all, really. But in this short postseason, to me, that was the moment right there. I mean, it's a moment that we've all been waiting for as Yankees fans, as Aaron Judge fans, just waiting to see him finally get that, that proverbial monkey off his back and finally freaking do it. And I think collectively, not just the 50,000 there at the stadium or the 53,000 plus, subscribe to the U now, we all kind of exhaled at the same time when we saw that. So that was such a big moment. They come back from down 6-1, they win that game. And now you're in a Game 4 where it's like, look, after the way the series started, to be in a situation where you're winning one game, you're just one win away from making this a one-game playoff, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you couldn't have asked for more after the way this series started, them getting their brains beat in 2 straight games. So now in Game 4, I kind of went into that honestly just hoping, like, look, dude, Schlittler's going to be out there. I hope and pray that Schlittler's able to hold it down and he doesn't give up anything early. That was my first ask. I need Schlittler to be able to, come out here and keep a clean board, at least for the first 3 innings. Don't let them get anything early because, like, this is how this team works, man. They just start early and it kind of just sets a tone. Don't let them set the tone. And then I was like, in turn, the Yankees need to set a tone. They have
Right.
never, they like throughout the entire series, like they weren't the team who came out to an early lead. I was like, tonight in a bullpen game, I feel like if we go ahead 3 runs, 4 runs, something like that, you might see Schneider start to manage for Friday because he can't really deplete everything here if he knows this is going to go to game 5 and I'm going to need some arms come Friday at home. So that was my hope. And immediately it just doesn't go that way. Immediately it goes the opposite way.
Right.
First inning, Vladdy's up, pokes the ball down the right field line, 1 run scores, and I was just like, okay, well, that's not what I wanted. Obviously, innings go by, the Yankees don't do anything offensively. I'm like, oh, that's also not what I wanted. And I mean, big at bats in different parts of the game. You got a situation, there, bases loaded. Austin Wells comes up, felt eerily similar to the Aaron Judge bases loaded situation from game 1 against Gossman. Nothing happens. They just nothing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a 1-pitch AB, right?
Yes. Austin Wells bases loaded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Austin Wells
It's
bases
the
loaded.
one. It's the one where I got this big ass bruise on my arm that I currently have right now because I was absolutely livid.
Well, that was it right there. And again, I mean, obviously, you and Kev on the call the last 2 games was phenomenal. I think the U put their best playoff lineup forward. The Yankees, I don't know. In a situation like that, man, it's tough, man. It's tough. I saw Wells get out there, and it was just really hard for me not to start feeling like, okay, well, the Blue Jays can basically just count down the outs. And that's essentially what happened. I mean, the Blue Jays were the ones that tacked on, though they didn't really need to. The Yankees didn't do dick the rest of the way. Like, they just didn't. They were lifeless in some of the ABs. I mean, Aaron Judge was, I'm sorry, man, game 4, I don't see, there's no other guy offensively that I was like, damn, man, thank you for showing up today. Like, it was really, for me, like Judge.
It was Judge.
It just felt like Judge. Even in the 9th inning there, Judge is the one that comes through again. And, you said it as he came through. Like, of course, Aaron Judge, he comes through again. Let's go. Like, whatever. He's like, dude, I mean, this entire postseason, though it was only 2 series, it's so, I think one of the things that hurt me the most when it was over was I think we were right about this being the one with Aaron Judge. It's hard.
It was. And that's what sucks. That's what sucks the most is that he was having that postseason. Yeah.
He looked, I mean, Pete, the guy just looked locked in. Like he was locked in. Yes. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, I alluded to the moment from game 1 when he didn't get it done, but he was leading the postseason in hits. He had that big home run game 3, 9th inning, season on the line. He comes through again. I was like, damn, man, this dude, like, I get it. Vladdy's been unstoppable this series for the Blue Jays. But I'm like, damn, Aaron Judge has been, equally as good. Aaron Judge even got walked earlier in the game, like with nobody on or some crazy shit like that. Like I was like,
They weren't going to pitch them.
Yeah, they decided like, look, he's not going to beat us. And look, man. When it was Bellinger, right? Struck out last out of the game. Bellinger strikes out. Yes. And I think that was it. I mean, it felt, it wasn't one of those things where like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is, I feel like I'm in a dream. I saw some people tweeting like that or whatever. I was like, nope. That was one of those things where it wasn't even like the last out of the World Series last year, where even that I kind of felt like I was like, am I like dreaming? Like, did this really just happen? Game 5 last year?
Yeah.
Game 4 didn't feel like that. Bellinger strikes out on a pitch way outside that he should not have been swinging at.
It's like he just chased him, was like, the hell with it.
Yeah, and I literally just looked. And immediately in the moment, like I said, and Belly strikes out. The Blue Jays, and I'm listening to you guys, and I'm just like, yep, this feels like exactly what was going to happen to this team after the way that they showed up in the beginning, and I felt like a buffoon for believing that there was any other way that this series was going to end, and that's why when I did respond to my Blue Jays lovers, I'm not going to call them haters because with as much attention as they've given me the last couple of days or whatever, these people are in love with me. So shouts out to you guys. I know you guys love me, but when I did finally respond to some of them, I said, you know what? I was like, hey, you guys won. You did it. Hats off to you. You guys were the better team after all. I was wrong. Yeah. I was wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'll stand by that. I was wrong. I was wrong when I said it during the season. I was wrong when I said it at the end of the season. And I was wrong when I said it at the beginning of this series, that I believe that the Yankees were a team that was still better than the Toronto Blue Jays. What the Toronto Blue Jays proved after those 4 games was they were the better team all along. What happened in that 4-game sweep in Toronto was no fluke. And even though we beat them on the when they had to play us on the road here in the Bronx, didn't matter, because when it mattered, they came into the Bronx and got the wins they needed. And they were going to do that yes or yes. It really didn't matter. And to those people who say, this is why the division would have been important, whatever, and I thought like that too early on. I'm going to be real with you. I think even if the Yankees did find a way to steal the division at the end of the season, we're sitting here with the same outcome.
I think so. I think
the only difference here is that Toronto doesn't celebrate on our home field. That to me would have been the only difference in how the series would have went. I don't think it goes 5. I still think it ends in 4, and I still think it ends 3-1 Blue Jays. And that's those were my takeaways. That I was wrong, and I had to admit it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I tweeted that the Yankees going to win the World Series, and legitimately, when they lost, I quote tweeted myself and I said, "Have at it, and go ahead and enjoy yourselves, because you should." You know, obviously, it's a horrible, horrible take how it looks like that at the moment. The Yankees lost, and that's it. And I'm still upset. You know, I'm still upset. But I was talking to Jira today, and we're just kind of, you know, going over a little bit of the show and what we're going to talk about. And look, I said, you know what? It's crazy because there's a part of me, I could always rant, I could always go off, I could always scream, but you know, it saddens me that I have to come on this show and said, what am I going to yell about? What am I going to yell about? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to recognize something here. And it's a sad thing to recognize now. Don't get me wrong. We're going to support the Yankees no matter what, because we're Yankee fans. So we're always going to support them. We're always going to hope that the best could happen and they can win and all that fun stuff. We're always going to do that because we're Yankee fans. Here's what I will tell you. The Yankees as an organization right now are in a very bad spot. And if you don't believe that and you disagree and go, come on, they're right there. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Right where?
Exactly.
that would be my response. People say, they're right there. Where exactly? In
a toilet bowl. Like, remember when Uncle Don was flushing the toilet on the thing? That's where the Yankees basically are right now. Folks, this is an organization right now who, no matter what they say, they don't have an owner. They don't have a boss. They don't think about this for a second. They don't have somebody that is keeping them accountable, saying, hey, this is not working. We got to change. They don't have that. Who is it? It's not Hal Steinbrenner. We don't even know where he is. And people sometimes laugh at that and go, oh, come on, you know, the where's Hal stuff. But in all seriousness, where is Hal? Like, I know it sounds funny now that I say it, but you're talking about a team that has an entire city. You know, we got the biggest presence in America of a baseball squad. The Yankees, this logo is more recognized than anything. You would think that you would have an owner, I hate saying this, like Steve Cohen at least, who hasn't done dick, to at least come out and say, hey, publicist, apologize to the fans, tell them we're going to work harder than ever before, whatever it is. And you release something else instead of a thank you fans post on social media. That's the best Yankee fans get, is a thank you fans for another loss post. That's what Yankee fans deserve. I mean, whoever's in charge of Yankee social media, you can't throw it to somebody above you. Hey, look, guys, I'm kind of doing this all day. I know you got to thank the fans. I think we need a little something more than a little picture that says thank you fans here. I think we need a little something extra that can make a little more sense, because let me tell you this, they ain't going to be too excited about this post. Nothing's going to make them happy. But maybe a little bit of accountability somewhere would work well. We don't know where the owner is. Guys, Brian Cashman is controlling stuff. He's letting the nerd brigade run around and, you know, show him different calculations that make things make sense. You got Aaron Boone down there saying, all right, whatever you guys want, I don't got a problem with it. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm bought in. I think this is the way it goes. I'm fully bought in. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the Yankees are in a really, really bad spot. Because some people, again, would say, but they made the playoffs, Pete. They went to the ALDS. They had 94 wins this year. Come on now. What do you mean? They're in a really bad spot. That we can sit here today and nobody knows anything. Every Yankee fan can sit back and go, how many more years is the losing going to be allowed? You know, I even heard Ken Rosenthal talk about this, Francis, and I said, I fucking want to rip my face off. I want to rip my face off. I really do. Well, bro, Aaron Boone, this might be Aaron Boone's greatest year ever. And Brian Cashman, what a year for Brian. And these Yankee fans with this idea that if you don't win, it's a failure. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's sad to say all of that died with George Steinbrenner because these beat writers, one, wouldn't be speaking this way. That wouldn't happen with George here because George held a standard. The Yankees no longer have a standard. Well, in reality, they do because, you know, if you ask a question they don't like, Jason Zillow will kick you out of the room and not allow you to ask Boone questions anymore. That's true. Jason Zillow. Yes, that's true. The Yankees have become an organization that wants to control narratives the way they control their manager. There's no difference. And what did you have the minions doing? At the same time,
Twerking.
writing the same nonsense saying, but Boone is running the show. We promise you he is. Anybody saying he's not, they don't know. What does Derek Jeter know? What does A-Rod know, those bums? How would they know more than Susan Woolman? Are you kidding me? This is what this organization has become. So at the end of the day, folks, don't expect change. You will eventually hear from Steinbrenner. He ain't going to be like his father. We know that already. You're going to hear a little something from George Steinbrenner, right? And it's going to be along the lines of, you know, you're saying bullshit. Well, wouldn't say it was, well, yeah, we missed our ultimate goal, but there's a lot of successes in there. And, you know, we're going to look to improve on what was wrong. And that's exactly what he's going to do. We all know it. So again, I mean, maybe Francis has a different opinion on this, but Cashman's going to be back. Aaron Boone's going to be back. There might be, you know, a new third base coach. There might be a new first base coach, something along those lines. But ladies and gentlemen, they will never sit there and tell you we've had it wrong. They'll never do that because they follow a process. And it's a process that doesn't matter what wins and losses tell you. It's the process. If you remember back in the day, I made a big deal about the just get in. And so many people attacked me. How can you, that's true, Pete. How can you say that? And I sat there and said, it's a mindset now. What happened when the excuses came in? I was there again to say, this is what losers do. And it's exactly what the Yankees did. Then the players started using the excuses. They all did. The organization has developed a loser mentality. And that's why they will continue to lose. It's that simple. They got a loser owner, a GM who I think is a good GM. Don't get me wrong. But he has way too much control. And a manager to not allow him to manage. Just saying, hey, look, you're going to listen to us. And Boone goes, great, I like it. That's where the Yankees are. They are a train wreck. A train wreck.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, in years past, there's been times when Boone's contract was up, or, you know, even a couple years ago, was like, oh, you know, Cashman still hasn't had another contract. And I don't even know that they announced a Cashman extension or anything like that. But again, do they really even have to? We know he's not going anywhere. I think for all intents and purposes, Brian Cashman is the owner of the New York Yankees. For everything that actually matters, for everything that actually counts, Brian Cashman is the owner. He's the managing partner. Hal Steinbrenner, like the Yankees to him seem at this point, they're like a chore to him. They're like a pimple on his ass.
Yep.
He deals with it because of the fact is that's the bread and butter for his family business. And it allows him to do the things that he actually cares about, the things that he's actually passionate about. But in reality, he doesn't give a shit about the Yankees.
No, not at all.
He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't. And when people and I get it, because you know you're gonna have these people like the Michael K's of the world and say, I mean, how can you sit there and say he doesn't care? The man spends $300 million a year. He spends $300 million a year because it's a business investment. That for me,
Correct.
that is no longer going to be a thing where I'm gonna hang my hat and say, no, well, you know, he does spend money, so that means he cares. The fuck it does. Okay, in 2025, let's cut this shit.
Not about caring.
Let's cut this shit because yes, he does spend $300 million on a payroll, but what does he take home? Let's talk about that. What is he taking home? How much has he made on this team the last 8-9 years when this freaking regime of Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman driving the ship onto the shore. How much money has he made there? Don't talk to me about, well, he does shell out this one. No, talk to me about how much he's making. Okay, because if he's making on most good years over 800 million in profit, don't talk to me about 300 million.
Yep.
I no longer want to hear that as no. That means he cares. No.
Nothing to do with care.
He understands that he can't spend less than that because it would raise flags all around the country.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he doesn't own one of the teams where he can underspend, underperform, and do that shit year in, year out, and not be called to the carpet and say, hey, what the hell's going on here, buddy? You own the New York Yankees. You guys make more revenue than anybody in the league. No. Not more revenue than one team, two teams, 10 teams, 20 teams. No. More revenue than anybody.
Everybody.
That includes your Los Angeles Dodgers with the Shohei Ohtani circus. That includes the circus in Queens across town. That includes the Bloody Sox up in Boston. That includes whatever market you want to talk about. The New York Yankees are bigger and better. Okay? They make more. So I'm sick and tired of shooting him this bail because I've been on the forefront of that shit. Every time Michael K says, I'm always like, well, don't always agree with him, but he's right about that. Hal does spend. Every year he's been spending, man. I mean, if you total what he spent the last 3 years, he spent over $1 billion and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? He has spent over $1 billion the last 3 years. How much has he made though?
That's right. It's a business at the end of the day.
Exactly. And that's it right there. That's all this is for Hal Steinbrenner. Okay. Yep. At the end of the day, that's all this is for how it's a business. Okay. This whole aspect of it, of, coming and showing up and answering questions and saying, yeah, it didn't get the outcome we wanted, whatever. He can't stand that part of the job.
I don't think he even knows what to say.
He doesn't. It's all prepared. You can tell.
100%.
When has Hal Steinbrenner, somebody asked me, when's the last time Hal Steinbrenner has given an interview that wasn't in a controlled environment? When's the last time Hal Steinbrenner went on MLB Network where the people there aren't under his payroll? When's the last time he was being questioned? Because people want to bring or whatever. Well, he's spoken to who? Spoken to who? Let's be honest here. The last time we heard from him, who was he sitting across from? Was it Meredith? Who was
Meredith? I think it was this whole season.
It's always a controlled environment.
Of course. Bro. Well, you think about this, right? There was the one when there was the whole audit shit going on. Remember the audit? They talked about it. And this was the most telling thing because I did this live, I remember. And he sat there and he said, when they had these meetings, there was some back and forth with Boone and a few others. It got a little heated, he said. Then later on, he mentions, well, how did he know? Well, I didn't attend the meeting, but I went over the notes afterwards. You're the boss of the club. You weren't in attendance of the meetings. One, that tells you everything you need to know. And then do you remember his famous line? I think we need to bunt more.
We need to bunt more.
That's the owner of the New York Yankees, folks. I think we need to bunt more. So I mean, this is where we are. Like I said, I could talk for 3 hours about this, which they didn't do.
They didn't do, by the way, just to make it even that much funnier.
Aaron Boone heard that and started choking on whatever he was drinking when he was watching it.
I mean, and let's. I mean, if there's anybody out there that wants to challenge or refute what we're saying, what I'm saying about this $300 million payroll not being an indication necessarily that he actually really does truly care. If you're investing an amount of money that is very serious to you, then I'm talking to the people in the chat here, right? People like you and me, whatever. You're investing an amount of money in something that is a very significant amount to you that you really, really shows that you care. Aren't you going to be involved every step of the way?
Have to be.
Would you be comfortable investing that amount that's really big to you, that's really important to you, but just leaving it to what I don't know what's going on with my light. I'll fix that.
No, but you have to be.
Would you be comfortable just saying, yeah, it's okay? Like
that was Jason Zillow, by the way. Getting in touch with Con Edison and shutting his stuff down over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Go.
But I mean, look, we could jump right into look, because again, we all know this, right? Boone's back, Cashman's back. We understand there'll be some small minor changes and all that, and we'll go from there. But just to finish up on what Francis says, it's as clear as day. There's not an owner that cares about his club. It's as clear as day that there's not an owner that is truly, truly, as Francis is saying, invested in his team. That's not what we're seeing with Hal Steinbrenner. So just a reminder when I say that, let's keep all of this in mind and we'll talk about where the Yankees would spend some of that money. And then, we'll see whatever friggin' happens here. But David says, did you hear what Joe Torre said after the Yankees failed? He really said what it means to be the Yankees. You need fire, not entitlement. Well, no, man, that makes all the sense in the world. This team right here doesn't have much fire. They have a lot of talk. I can tell you that much. The Yankees, some of the players tend to talk quite a bit, but they don't necessarily back that up. So what I want to do right now, look, chat, you guys are more than welcome to join me and Francis on this, but I'm going to go up and down basically the list of potential free agents for the New York Yankees. We're going to start with our guys first, and then we'll talk about other potential moves the Yankees can make. So let me switch over to this screen right here. These are just from Sports Track. Who the Yankees have as free agents coming up, and we'll talk about that. OKC Yank fan says that quote from Torre was fake. Yeah, I thought I saw something like that it was, but even if he did say that, it is a smart quote, fake quote, to be honest with you. Makes sense. Austin Slater, can we just run by this one, Francis? I don't think, nobody's bringing Austin Slater back.
No, that one's easy. Fair? That one's quick.
All right. So yeah. Austin Slater's a quick one. Now we get into ones that are a little, more obvious here. All right. Luke Weaver. Are you even taking time to bring Luke Weaver back? Are you even having to consider, a conversation with Luke Weaver? In chat, you let me know in the chat also. What do you think? Weaver, yes, no, maybe so?
Yeah, Weaver's a no for me. There was stuff towards the end of the year where they were saying that, he's also interested in looking at, potentially a starting role and things like that. And I mean, with the way that the season ended, it seemed to me that the best thing for both parties would be for him to move on. It seemed that there was a very vast disconnect between him and the organization by the end of the year. His comments were indicative of like, yeah, I don't know. Now, I'm not saying I just say that to say, like, I'm not saying, yeah, Luke, deuces, you're trash. We don't need to see it. Like, that's more of my Austin Slater take. Like, dude, I don't know why you were ever even here. Luke Weaver was great at a certain point for the Yankees. The wheels fell off at the end. It would not shock me if he goes to the next place and finds it again and is dominant again.
Yeah.
I just don't know that that's going to be here. So for me, Luke Weaver, hey, thank you for what you did for us in 2024. Love you. I hope you stay the same, never change. But, good luck on your next team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Weaver to me is an absolute pass. I'm passing up on Weaver. Ahmed Rosario, who was very good for the Yankees. A guy, again, I take a little pride in that one because he's a name that I talked about a lot in the offseason also when he was still available.
For several years.
A couple of years now I've talked about Ahmed Rosario. So I was hopeful that Rosario's a guy that the Yankees keep around, but I would say yes. Now, let me just throw this out to everybody. Right now, we're talking about who we would talk to, who we would actually consider keeping. I don't think this is a guarantee of saying, yes, I want this guy. Let's sign him to this amount. The way I'm going about this is who would I put in a folder of saying, I'm going to reach out to this guy. We're going to keep having conversations because some of that could change based on another name that's out there that I'm going to hopefully open a lot of people's eyes to here when we get to free agents that are going to be out there. But for me, Ahmed Rosario is a guy I would certainly look to have conversations with.
Yeah, same. I think Ahmed Rosario makes a ton of sense. What's it called? Literally, I don't see him costing like anything ridiculous, and I just think he makes the Yankees versatile. And I feel like if they are the ones who sign him to the next contract, I think that will kind of force them to use him more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Ahmed Rosario. I definitely test the waters. Like, I'm not saying,
of course,
we need to be the top bidder for Ahmed Rosario. We have to know there's no way in hell
No.
we let that guy go somewhere else. No, like we don't get crazy either. Like if somebody else comes in, it's like, no, we absolutely have to have him. It's like, hey, okay, he's yours. But
Yeah. I'm not
like
going to
to
go on a
have him
bidding
back.
war for this guy.
Exactly. I'd like to have him back. I'm not going into a bidding war for him.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him. Ryan Yarbrough is a guy again for me. He's kind of in that, not really in that list, but Ryan Yarbrough is not a guy that I'm jumping up and down for to try to do anything in my power to bring back. If he's available and you see what your roster looks like and you're missing that piece, potentially a guy like him I would look to reach out to, but he's not a guy I'm seriously considering at the beginning of a year when I'm doing my planning.
Yeah. Yarby is a guy that I liked. I liked when we made the trade for him. I don't like spending money on him this offseason. Really not to anything on his end. It's more so what's also available, which I know we'll talk about a little bit later, so I won't give up any names now. But from what's already available, and this is not even speaking about what could be available in the trade market, spending money on him would be almost borderline malpractice. Like if there's these other options out there, go with those.
That's
other
where
options
I feel
that are gonna cost similarly is what I'm saying. So
and it was a lot like this year, right? Where he's like a spring training guy. They are like, okay, let's bring this guy on board. I think he was almost right after spring training almost ended. It was like a couple of weeks, like a week or so before spring training.
Him. He got cut. Yeah, he got cut like pretty late. And then like, he was available, and it was one of those.
He was very good. He helped us a shit ton during the beginning of the year. Tim Hill's an interesting one. He got a $3 million club option. I feel like for me, that's a given. I bring Tim Hill back for $3 million. That's an easy one in my opinion.
Automatic, no explanation necessary. It's $3 million. That's what we spent on Luke Weaver.
Yeah. I think that's a fairly easy one for $3 million. You don't got to negotiate with him. It's right there for the take and just lock him in.
That should be
now
ASAP. As soon as
now it gets interesting. Now you got, matter of fact, I'm gonna throw another name out there before we get into this one because it's not that big. This is an interesting one. It's a really interesting one. Jonathan Loaiza got a $5 million club option. What are you doing?
I'm gonna club him over the head and send him on his way.
Good. I actually thought maybe we'd disagree with this one, but we don't. Send him away. I'm done with Jonathan Loaiza. I'm done with the experiment. I'm done with it.
I love him, and that might be why you thought we would disagree with him because
because then I know you're a pitcher.
Yeah,
the arm is there, so maybe you say less risk. Why not $5 million? Me, no, I'm done with him.
I can no longer just separate myself from the reality that as tantalizing as the stuff is, you never see it anymore. It's three straight seasons with an elbow injury. Yep. We would have to be brain dead to offer him that $5 million. Like if the Yankees ever on God's green earth offered that boy $5 million, I mean, we got to start checking books and see.
Wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
Really going on there.
Wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
If that happens though, like, dude, we are in for quite the winter.
Yep, no doubt about it. Next one's an interesting one because he pitched a whole lot better towards the end. Devin Williams. I'm pretty easy on this one, to be honest. For me, it is a complete pass. I am passing on Devin Williams. I'm letting him go. There's a saying out there, right? Too little, too late. He blew a shit ton of games for the Yankees. I still don't believe he said at the end of the year, he really liked being here and things went on. I've personally heard a lot of different things regarding that. I'm not going to put a guy, on blast at all for anything that may or may not be true. I don't fully know. But I would simply say I would move on from Devin Williams. I wouldn't look to. And on top of that, can I just throw something for me out there? There's not many relievers who I consider giving multiple years to. I'm not a big fan of doing that as it is. So he's a guy that I would certainly pass on. I'm not even really having a conversation there, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. This might sound crazy to people. They'll be like, I can't believe these guys won't even say no, I'm in the right deal. I'd give him a shot. No, I wouldn't. I think the most important thing with the conversation with Devin Williams is this. What I learned about halfway through the season, maybe a little bit earlier than that, Devin Williams never wanted to be a Yankee. Devin Williams clearly said it when he was traded over here. He was under the impression that he was going to the Dodgers. The moment that he found that he was going to be the Yankees, it was like, okay, I guess. He got over here and his season was, okay, I guess. So why would I spend what it's going to take to secure Devin Williams? Devin Williams is going to be paid pretty freaking well. Like it's not going to be like, oh, am I the greatest deal for a closer in the history? Probably not. I mean, he has his struggles in the postseason that are well documented, and then his struggles with the Yankees this season did not help his case any. I mean, yeah, people can say, well, at the end of the year, he said he wouldn't mind coming back. I mean, yeah, he said that because he wants to have his money, and in order to get all his money, he needs to make it look like he's open to coming back to play for the Yankees, so that the Yankees are a part of the market. In reality, he wants no parts of wearing pinstripes next year, and I want no parts of seeing him in pinstripes next year. The only pinstripes I would enjoy seeing him in next year would be the lighter blue ones that they wear across town. Other than that, I don't want to see Devin Williams on my team. As a matter of fact, if I don't have to see like at all in the next couple of years, like I'd be really happy with that. You never said thank you for the picture either, by the way. So
no,
that's that was kind of it.
He got up to a bad start with the U. He finished very poorly. Probably his mistake, to be quite honest. Probably shouldn't have got up to the bad start.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't go. Maybe they didn't go up there and tell you, but you definitely could have handled that a little bit better, Devin. I'm just saying.
Maybe they didn't go up there and tell you. You do stuff like that. You have a bad year. You don't know.
Yeah. And this is not just so people know, this is not me being petty, Pete being petty. We know the guy had several options, several opportunities, several occasions. There was a time when an article was even done or whatever, and we were reached out for quote and all that stuff.
Yep.
All that happened. No, not so much as a thank you to you. Nothing. Just kind of shows the sort of person that we're dealing with.
At the end of the day, he stole it.
Yeah.
In reality, he stole it. He was like, fuck it, I'm just taking this.
Yeah.
In reality, that's my.
So it's like that to me showed me a little bit, and it's just like it sucks because I was as happy as anybody when we got Devin Williams. I thought I was.
We both were. We found out live on All Rise.
Yes, we did, and it was. That was a really big moment. To be honest with you, it's not like I'm not gonna hate watch him going forward. I'm just saying it is what it is.
No, I could care less.
I just don't think I don't think the Yankees need to be allocating money to Devin Williams. So
agreed.
Sayonara, man.
Agreed, 100%. Next one is a fun one. Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie had a solid year. It was the biggest letdown of Goldie was where was the power at? The power just completely disappeared. There was no power there whatsoever. Now, for me, this is going to be crazy to some people. It's going to sound nuts. If I didn't go out there and get some of the guys that I wanted to go out there and that I'm going to talk about a little bit down the line, and he was open to saying, hey, I'm going to play against lefties, I'd consider it on a deal cheaper than he got last year. Cheaper than 12.5. I would consider it only then. But I think there are better options. So I will likely pass. But he's a guy I would store there just in case these other deals don't work. I would consider him on you're playing against lefties, potentially maybe late inning defense, and that is it. That's the way I see Paul Goldschmidt. I'm sure a lot of people are here and go, Pete, you would bring him back. It depends. You're gonna have to listen to what I say later, but potentially.
Yeah. I definitely hear what you're saying. Like if he's willing to come back in a platoon role, like right from the outset, just knowing that he's going to be a platoon guy and he's probably not going to play against what's it called? What is it? Right? He's not going to play against righties. He's going to play. Yeah. He's going to hit against lefties almost exclusively. I hear that. I don't know essentially what the spending profile is going to be for the New York Yankees this winter. So I can't commit anything to something like that in my mind. I'm like, I don't know, because I just don't know how much they're going to spend. So in reality, I'm like, even if it was like $8 million, it's like, okay, well that's what, $4 million less, 7-8 million. It's like, I mean, that's not really crazy money, right? Does that move the needle? In my mind, it's like, that could be two relievers. Like I'm just like, I don't know with the way that they're spending these days. So yeah, I'm a full pass on Goldie. I don't know, man. I saw age.
There was definitely age there
towards the end of the year, and it sucks. It sucks for him, but let's be real, man. Garrett Cole's 35. Sorry, Garrett Cole's 35 at the start of next year. Judge is 34. You know, there's a lot, right? You know, Fried's in his 30s, Rodon's in his 30s. it's just like, yeah, like I don't know. So that it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I'm out. Would I
Okay.
be mad if they did the deal that you're saying, where they're like, oh, we brought Goldie back $7 million a year. He's likely going to be a platoon guy. Like if that's what Curry's saying after they broke the signing, would I be like, oh my god, it's just crazy? No, I'd be like, okay, I get it. It makes sense.
Okay. All right. The two big guys. The two big guys. We're gonna start with the first one. I was about to say Devin Williams again. My goodness. Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham. Now, again, gotta hear the rest of what could be available, what could be out there. But Trent Grisham, I've said it all year. I believe he's gonna get a lot of money from somebody. I think somebody's gonna overpay for Trent Grisham, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I don't know. But I think somebody's going to go out there and put a lot of money in the lap of Trent Grisham. I don't believe that team is going to be the Yankees. But again, if a lot of things break wrong ways, would I consider talking to him? Yes. Personally, right now, he would go in that folder with Paul Goldschmidt. And you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about later. He would go in my folder with Paul Goldschmidt to say if everything doesn't go the right way and he's still out there, maybe I have a conversation. But personally, he's nowhere near the top of my list of guys I'd bring back. Or my plans at center field.
Yeah. That's really what it comes down to for me. Like my plan for center field next year doesn't include Trent Grisham. Doesn't include Trent Grisham even as a backup. Like honestly, like I don't my thing with Trent Grisham is that the fact is I know that if he's back, Aaron Judge is going to lobby for him to be out there because Aaron Judge likes him. That's his boy.
That's
and
right.
If Aaron Judge was the GM, then I would know wholeheartedly that guy's coming back and he's going to be paid overly. He's going to be overpaid, like OD. Thank God Aaron Judge is not the GM because that's not going to be the case. And I don't think that that's the smart move for the New York Yankees. I think the smart thing for the New York Yankees would be to say, hey, Trent, thank you. 2025. Oh, man, what a season. Congrats on the kid, but bye. Like if you want to, you're going to go somewhere, you're going to get paid. Do that elsewhere. We wish you the best. I'm sorry. I am wholeheartedly convinced that Trent Grisham turns back into a pumpkin next year, and I don't want it to be while he's wearing a Yankee jersey. I'm sorry. I just don't need to see that. I don't need that to happen on my watch. I just don't. So thank you. 2025 was literally unreal. There were times throughout this year where I'm looking at you like, I mean, is this even real with this guy? I mean, you're calling the games, and he's hitting another home run. You're like,
so I call him Trent Bonds because like, what the hell?
But let's be real. I mean, if he went from Trent Bonds to Trent the Bum next year, would anybody be surprised?
No.
So we shouldn't be the ones paying him. Sorry.
Not at all. Slim Lewis adds in with a super chat. Upgrades at shortstop and catcher are more important than an outfielder like Tucker. I've been saying for a few years that Wells ain't good enough. We'll get to that, but I completely disagree with that. I think people beat up Austin Wells quite a bit. Now, was he great? No, but we can certainly talk about that.
It wasn't his best.
Last guy out there, Cody Bellinger. This is one a lot of fans are jumping up in joy for. He's gonna opt out. He does have a $25 million player option, folks. He's not picking it up.
He already did.
He will opt out. Yeah, he already said it. He said, hey, he's leaving. A lot of the chat is saying yes. Now, I warn everybody real quick when I say this. Now the same people saying yes, would you give Cody Bellinger 5 years? Because I don't think Cody Bellinger gets anything less than at least 5 from any team out there he signs with after the year he had. He's going to want 5+ years, could be 6. You never know. Personally, Francis, I'll say this right now. If I couldn't sign Cody for 3 or 4, which I highly doubt the Yankees would be able to, I am not bringing Cody Bellinger back. I'm not locking in somebody else like Cody Bellinger, who's a good player this year, but has been very up and down throughout his career. I am not locking Cody Bellinger in for 5+ years. No way in hell.
Oh, I think people aren't gonna like what I gotta say about the Bellinger stuff. But I was saying here, I'm like, how do you say this in a way that's gonna be palatable? But honestly, this is designated spitters, man. I gotta give you the truth. Love Cody Bellinger. Loved what he did this season. In a vacuum, overall, you look at it, great season.
Yep.
Phenomenal compliment. one of the headliners of Plan B. And as much as people want to throw shade, especially, you know, the ones across town who didn't even get into the club, but they're hating from the outside, Cody Bellinger was really good. So good, in fact, that they'd love to have him over there, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe they should have him, though, because the last I checked, the New York Yankees make more money than anybody in the league. So when it comes to an opening in terms of a position, we should be shopping at the top of the market. And if we're being honest here, Cody Bellinger is not at the top of this market with the opening that we currently have. There's another guy who's at the top of that market. And if we're not shopping there, if we're setting our sights at number 2 there, like we did a couple years back with the first baseman thing, because it's like, well, we had Rizzo and he was here and he already showed he could be pretty good with us. Why would we entertain Freddie Freeman? Why would we trade for Matt Olson? How'd that turn out? How did that turn out? So I didn't say the name because I know we're going to talk about all that stuff later, but you guys are basically picking up what I'm laying down. I am in no way trying to shit on Cody Bellinger. This is more so a direct shot to the Yankees. Why would we redo what we just did a couple years ago with first base?
Agreed.
That's all I'm saying.
So keep all those in mind. Those are the Yankees free agents and they can easily just go out there and pick up and all that. As David adds in Bellinger, yes, I would get him 4 years, max 5-year option. So let's start here. I think, could the Yankees improve their rotation? Potentially. Is the Yankees starting rotation up there on my list of, oh my God, look, this is a glaring weakness? No, not at all. Part of the Yankees' greatest strength is
it's at the bottom of my list.
Is the bottom of the list, right?
Literally the bottom.
So we don't got to put a ton of focus there right now.
Can I say one thing about the rotation?
Yeah, please.
The only thing, brother, that I would like even remotely entertain in terms of upgrade, this rotation is that good to the point where
he wants Framber Valdez. Oh my God.
No, I don't want Framber Valdez. I'm saying I feel like this rotation is ridiculously good. Like, and I feel like maybe, you know, with the most recent postseason performances, some people are kind of discounting that. But in reality, Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, Louis Heel, those are your righties. Max Fried, Rodon, your lefties. It's really hard to upgrade from that. Clark Schmidt coming back in the fold at some point. Will Warren already shown he could be serviceable. You're kind of deep at that spot. To upgrade that is hard. There's only a couple of names out there that would essentially upgrade that. Those are your Tariq Skubals, your Paul Skeens. Like, those are the only guys. Unless we're talking them,
there's no point.
I'm not talking, right? Like, that's what I mean to say. So there's not a free agent starter out there that I'm like, I'd give him some money. No, because starting pitching is at such a premium that the guys who are available, even though none of those names are particularly sexy, they're going to get good money. And I don't want to be the ones giving it to them. Not with what we already have.
About it. Dave, I do want to take up what Dave's saying. He said, Pete, you said the same thing last year about the rotation this time. You guys are wildly optimistic about the rotation. Dave, I got to be honest with you here. You got Garrett Cole coming back. You got Max Fried. You got Carlos Rodon. You got Louis Heel. You got Cam Schlittler. You got Will Warren. You got Carlos Lagrange. You got Cruz, Rodriguez in the minor leagues. I'm going to be real with you here. What could they do there to say we're going to try to improve upon that? You're going to go out there and spend more money? When that's not a weakness. That's not how you build. Yeah, you can never have enough pitching. I understand that. But what else are you going to do? That is a dynamic strength of the New York Yankees right now, where if you're now open to potential trades, Passan, I give him credit because he was a guy who beat up the Yankees minor league system a lot. He came out recently, he said, look, with the way those prospects did this year, the Yankees could basically trade for anybody that's going to become available. So also keep that in mind. But I didn't want to challenge that because to me, that's a ridiculous take. Being optimistic about something. Well, when you look at that, how can you not simply say that's at the bottom of my worry?
There's
too many names there. It's at the bottom of my worry.
It's also, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but it's also inaccurate. You didn't say this time last year. Like, on what program? It couldn't have been any program on NYY Underground.
I think when I said it, and I think he's confused about this. When I said that would have been the year when they signed Rodon, and they had Rodon, Cole, Rodon, Severino, Nestor Cortez. Like, damn, they got 4 aces.
Yes.
They were all coming off really good years.
That's after Nestor Cortez's All-Star season and all that.
Correct.
Years ago. Yeah. Last year, that wasn't the case at all. Last year, there was no. I mean, literally, we were in a World Series where the only solid starting performance was Garrett Cole in Game 5. Like,
correct.
That wasn't something that was being said after that season. So I'm like,
last year was more about bounce backs. Can this guy bounce back? Will this guy be good? We didn't know what the hell, we didn't know what the hell Louis Hill was going to be. Like, there was a lot there. Oh no, we did, because he had that year. But we didn't know fully, what all these guys are going to be. But David adds in, would you entertain to bring all these young kids and get 2 more B starters for a solid 5 and let all the kids play? I don't know what the hell you're saying there, brother. Let me read this again. Would you entertain this? Bring all the young kids and get 2 more B starters for a solid 5 and let the kids play.
Bring all the young kids. I don't know if he's going off.
Might be the riddle.
Like Lagrange and ERC, but no.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where you're getting at with that one. The Yankees have a rotation set. So anyway, let's move on from that.
Yeah.
When you look at the Yankees right now, what are a couple of areas that are glaring needs that when you sat down and thought about this, where did your eyes immediately go and say, okay, we got to upgrade here? Like, I think it's obvious you got to upgrade here.
Immediately. Yeah. So when I thought about upgrades, my eyes immediately, like instantaneously, didn't even take a second.
Sorry, but I just want to laugh.
Shortstop. Like automatically. I mean,
I want to laugh.
Before I could finish the question, my brain was like, are you done? Shortstop. Like, don't, it starts and ends there, buddy. Like, let's turn our heads to the left side of the infield and let's look at the most important position on the infield.
Yep. No doubt about it. And it's funny because, a lot of us, we've said this, we've had this conversation, we've seen this before. The majority of Yankee fans do indeed feel this way. Look, guys, the Yankees need to upgrade at shortstop. They need to upgrade at shortstop. It's really that simple. And I'm going to just throw it out there. You might have a different opinion than me on this one when it comes to who your top free agent target would be. You could have a different opinion than me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this right now. Bo Bichette would certainly become Bo Bronx if Pete Simonetti was the GM. Enough is enough. We're not going to continue to pass on shortstops. We can't continue to pass on shortstops. This is one of the greatest organizations in the world. And look, like Francis said before, Hal, if you want to invest your money somewhere and possibly make this club a better team, end this charade. End this charade of Anthony Volpe. Now, a lot of times I hear this, people go, well, Pete, what do you do? I don't give a shit what you do with him afterwards. I don't know if you include him in a deal. I don't know if you send him to AAA. I don't know. But I do know this. Go get Bo Bichette. People out there, if you guys remember, during the postseason, I would talk about this, and a lot of people go, Pete, but he's going to command like $8 million years. He's 27. He's 27. You know what this is similar to?
Pete, I give him 9 years.
Francis, do you remember there was a 26-year-old available last offseason that we passed on? Or not passed on, but there was a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff out there. Don't make this type of mistake when you could upgrade over Anthony Volpe. And I don't want anybody that's, but you're paying one guy $28 million a year, maybe. Pay him. And for anybody that's saying, I'm a little worried, Pete, about that range on defense. That's why you got Ryan McMahon. If you wanted him on the left side of an infield with a little poorer range, let me tell you something real quick. That's why you got Jazz to his left and McMahon to his right. Because those guys have great range. And we could talk about, Jazz made error. I get it. It's a little, it's a little irritating right now. But folks, go fucking get Bo Bichette, Yankees. This is not hard. You give that man the tour of the stadium. Hell, you got to bring back Joe Girardi, who's very close with his father, Dante. You bring him back. You say, look, this is where he needs to be. On top of that, hey, Hal, being like your dad a little bit isn't a bad idea. Take him away from that team in Toronto. Take him away from the rival who just wiped the fucking floor with you. Maybe you could have a little bit of a laugh over that. At least give us that. I say it again, my number one guy I go after is not Tucker. It's not Bellinger. It's Bichette. That's it. Sitting down, getting it hashed out, and get that man here, and then you could figure out whatever the hell it is you want to do with Anthony Volpe. But we got to stop the charade, folks. We have to stop this. We got to stop saying maybe he runs after these. You know what? Maybe he is. Maybe he will be. Let him go do it with the Colorado Rockies. Oh, wait, they got a better shortstop. Let him go do it with the A's. Oh, wait, they got a better shortstop. Let him go do it with God knows who. I don't care. He becomes an all-star. I don't care. Enough of this here. I'm done with it. I'm not sitting there saying he's the starting shortstop again. I'm fucking done, friends. I'm fed up. And trust me, as an Italian, it'd have been pretty cool to see him be a great ball player. He's not. And I'm done with it. I'm done with him because now it's getting to Aaron Hicks territory. It's there. Where fans really just, they dislike this dude. It's time to move. Give the fans what they want. Move on. Get the better guy here.
This is a kid who can strike out his first at-bat opening day and hear boos. Like
100% he will.
That is the level that we are at. There is no need. There is no reason on there's no way that it's fathomable that you could go out there in 2026 trying to convince people that you're trying to win and you're starting this kid at shortstop again after what you've seen. You gave him 3 years of run, free run. You can't say, oh, we maybe didn't give him a fair. No, you gave him the fairest of shakes, okay? I mean, he got unlimited run.
Facts.
3 years.
Facts.
You backed this kid. You supported this kid. You talked down reporters. You pushed back on narratives. You spun your own narratives. You put him on sponsorships.
They protected him in his final at-bat to bring up who they consider their bum.
Exactly.
Child who gets rocks thrown at him all day. Jason Dominguez to protect Anthony Volpe in one of the most disgraceful displays I've ever seen. And I'm not even joking about that.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact. They've given, for me, it's like, look, you guys did it. With Anthony Volpe at this point, the organization, there's no way that you look at it and you say, hey, listen, maybe, no, you did. You gave him the fairest of shakes. Now, did you put him in the best position to succeed or whatever? Listen, that's an argument that you guys can have behind closed doors. I said it years ago that you didn't do it. You screwed that up before he took his first at bat in the major leagues, as far as I'm concerned, because you guys put all the pressure on him that there was no way, and God, there was just no way he was going to ever reach that. Okay.
Yep.
At the end of the day, as good as he might have been, he was never as good as that shortstop class that you passed up on because you said you had Volpe. Well, guess what? You had Volpe, you got Volpe, and we got Volpe'd for 3 freaking years. It has to end. It has to end. This offseason, there are not very many teams that are going to be looking at the top of the shortstop market, looking to spend that kind of money. Now, there are a couple, and they're interesting, right? Because the team that he would be leaving, should he leave, is the rival who just beat you, who just kicked you out of the playoff, who just danced on your grave at your home stadium, sprayed champagne all over your visitors' clubhouse while playing your song. He'd be leaving that team. You'd be taking him from them. But, wait, hold on. The plot thickens. Because the guys that you beat just to get to that series where you kind of embarrassed yourself, their shortstop had a really good year. His name is Trevor Story. And not only did he have a good year, but he has an opt-out in his contract, which some people might say, well, he's expressed that he wants to be in Boston long-term. Yeah, sure he does. I believe he does. But players like money. And he knows that if he opts out right now, he can get some more money than the 2 years, $55 million that's remaining on that contract. So when he opts out of Boston, do you think that the Boston Red Sox are going to sit there and say, well, let's just give Trevor Story more money and bring him back when Bo Bichette is sitting right there?
That's right.
So you wouldn't just be taking him from the Toronto Blue Jays. You'd be potentially taking him from the Boston Red Sox, who were maybe one hitter away who's already in their system from beating you in the wild card series. Let's just call a spade here.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. It's fair
That's
game.
what I'm saying. You really want to let the Red Sox pair Bo Bichette with Roman Anthony? Hey, be my guest. Just pack it in for the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, let's just be cards on the table here, okay? You got Breggy, you got Trevor Story. These guys are going to test the market, but I do think that Boston will be inclined to bring both of those guys back. But if you give them the opportunity to get Breggy and freaking Bichette, I mean, how do they pass that up? With the pitching they already have, with the trust they have in Crochet, with the trust they have in Bello, like, dude, let's not be stupid here.
Yep.
The situation could go from bad to worse just like that. And would Toronto be upset? You'd be like, oh, they got Ernie Clement. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
Toronto's going to be okay. They paid the guy they wanted to pay. And guess what? He made them look like rock star geniuses.
That's right.
This last series here.
That's right.
So I'm right there with you, brother. The number one priority when it comes to the free agent market has to be one, Bo Bichette. Bo Bronx, bring him here. Okay, I don't want to hear about the defense. I heard about the defense. I saw people on Twitter. I mean, you're going to replace Volpe, the only guy who might be worst defensive. Worst defensive. He's got a 134 WRC plus. Don't you like that, you nerds? Get your glasses out. Put your glasses on.
They should.
134 WRC plus. Guess what? If Volpe had a 134 WRC plus, I don't give a fuck if he went out on the field and he left the glove in the dugout. That's where I'm at with it. Okay.
Yep.
Let's not be stupid here. Let's not be stupid here. Don't start talking to me about defense. Whatever. And guess what? My brother already said this. That's why you traded for a great third baseman.
That's right. With good range.
You see the plays that he was making in October?
Yep.
You see what he was doing out there?
Yep.
That's why you
call strategy.
That's why you got a Jose Caballero in the fold. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And he's signed. He's still here.
We need somebody to come in and tighten up defensively. Oh, we're not too sure about this alignment going into the 8th, 9th inning. Guess what? Cabby, put on the glove, buddy. You're going out there. You're playing short.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what that's there for. So, yes, Bo Bichette, number one. Matter of fact, on my list, he's number 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
I agree. He's top priority. Now, I will give you a name via trade that could pull me away from him, but I don't know if he's going to be available. I'll get to that 1 second. Slim Lewis says Volpe will be a good utility back who faces left-handed pitching. Nobody even wants him there for that. Ronnie, once Ronnie heard Anthony Volpe, he was like, I got to super chat this. Appreciate you, Ronnie. You're the man, brother. Ronnie's been calling Anthony Volpe a bust for about 4 years right now, so he's been on that one. Eli says Bregman, Moncada can be acquired. Eugenio Suarez. Well, let's wait on all that. We'll talk about a few more things here. There is one name that could pull me away from Bo Bichette because the Yankees could basically go out there and trade for just about anybody. Is Zach Neto. Now, I highly doubt Zach Neto's going to be available. I don't think he will be. You know, I think the last thing Albert Pujols is going to want to do is say, hey, I'm taking over this team as a new manager potentially here very soon. You're going to trade one of our best players, and what am I starting from here? Unless I get multiple starting pitchers, maybe that helps. But there's no telling that type of move would be possible and available. But Zach Neto's a player I absolutely love. And it's amazing how, you know, being blessed to play in certain markets really helps your career out, because I don't see Zach Neto on covers of anything. And he is a way better ball player than Anthony Volpe. Like not even close. I mean, legitimately, he's not even close.
Far and away. If there's a world where Zach Neto's available, the Yankees have to be the first people on the phone and just literally
100%.
It's literally a conversation of what's it going to take. And I don't know, man. I mean, in a deal like that, if somebody tells me like, I mean, you trade Lombard Jr. in that deal, yeah.
You got starting pitching too. You got to remember. I mean, it depends on what they want
over there. You're going to send ERC over there. Yeah.
For a guy like Zach Neto, yeah. I mean, how do you not? How do you not? He's young. He has great power.
You want Louis Hill?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
He's what.
he's one of those names where it's like
nothing off the table for me. I'm
there's
sorry.
exactly. There's not a lot of things where I'm gonna sit there and go, yeah, I can do that. Well, no, actually, yeah, I can do that. So let's talk about it. I do want to educate, maybe not educate the fan base here a little bit. It just might be a name you guys aren't aware of. So basically, I want to look at free agency because trades are tough. We don't know. There's rumors that Scooble could be available. You don't know about none of this stuff. I mean, we don't know who's going to be available. It's very, very hard to predict right now. As Felix Nunez says, Bo led the AL in hits in 21 and 22, finished 25 and 181 because he missed time, unless he would have led the league again. But that's exactly who Bo Bichette is. I mean, that's why we're sitting here saying, go get this damn guy and figure it out. But, yeah, like I said before, guys, trades, it's October 12th. It's very hard to discuss trades because we don't know what's going to be out there because there could be a lot of names that we have no idea about now. So I want to talk about players that are potentially available. And one of those guys is Kazuma Okamoto, who I've known about for a few years. I'll be honest with you, just a few months ago, I had no idea he was actually going to be posted, but he is going to be posted. That is 100% confirmed already. He will be a posted player this year from the, I believe he plays for the Yomiuri Giants, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Last year, WBC last year, finales against Team USA. He had a tying home run, made it 2-2. Let me just tell you guys briefly about who this is and why I think he makes all the sense in the world for the New York Yankees. He's a right-handed batter. He's a Gold Glover at third base, but he's a Gold Glover also at first base. He's won 2 Gold Glove awards at third base. He won 1 at first base. He's a right-handed hitter, very good power. I believe he is 29. He's 29 years old. But this is a guy that makes too much sense for the Yankees. Let me tell you why. Remember when I said hold on for the Goldie stuff? Let me wait on why I'm saying that. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, Pete, what about Murakami? I'm going to talk about Murakami too. Last year, he only played 77 games. He had 322. He had 23 home runs. But again, throughout his career, he had 15 home runs in that amount of time. Throughout his career, though, 41 homers, 30 homers, 39 homers, 31, 31, 33, 41. It's always been one of the premier players in Japan. And the reason why I say he is such a good fit for the Yankees is because as much as we love Ben Rice, as much as some of us love the defense of Ryan McMahon, you guys always know there's those moments where you go, but there's nobody to replace them. If they struggle, who comes in and replaces them? Well, this is 2 positions in one player that you wouldn't see significant decline in. Not a defensively. He's a better defensive first baseman than Ben Rice. There's no denying that. And I wouldn't say he's just as good as Ryan McMahon at third base because McMahon is really, really good. But he's he's above average. You're not going to lose much when you put him at third base. And on top of that, a guy who can come in, play great ball, play great defense, be a real wild card for you, could be not necessarily a role player, could play just about every day, has played some outfield too, but third and first are the main positions. So I wanted to throw him out there. You guys, go do your own research. Kazuma Okamoto, look him up. Very, very good numbers. I'm a big, big fan of him. Murakami, on the other hand, could be an all-time great. The scary thing about Murakami is I think he's either going to be great or he's either going to be a terrible.
He could be an all-time great or he could be an all-time bust.
And he's going to get paid a lot of money immediately out the gate. There is no getting around. He's an outright free agent. This is not posting system stuff. This is an outright free agent. Okamoto will be via the posting system, so whoever gets him could then just negotiate with him directly, and that's it. They got a certain amount of days to make the deal done. Murakami, on the other hand, everybody can go after this kid. And don't get me wrong, man. His power is off the charts. His power is off the charts. His swing and miss is also off the charts. He walks a lot. He is not, anybody tells you put him at third base, no. Don't put him at third base. He is a horrible defensive third baseman, much better at first base. Now, if you wanted to sit there and go, I feel we could dedicate all these years to him at first base, If you feel that way, okay, I could see it. I could understand it. But I have trouble doing that when I've seen what Ben Rice was capable of this year. It's not like the Anthony Volpe Bo Bichette conversation because
No.
Bo is way
No.
fucking better than Anthony Volpe. Like, it's not
Yeah.
even close.
No.
You have a guy potentially in Ben Rice who we can sit here and say, hey, look, he's going to hit you 25 plus. Now, some of you are going to say, Pete, I think he can hit 40. Maybe. But let's be fair. Let's be nice. Let's be silly. He'll hit you 25, right? He could bat 240, you think? Yeah. He could play average to maybe even slightly above average eventually at first base. Yeah, I think that's capable of that.
Possible, yeah.
So do we need to go spend all that additional money right there on that for a guy like Murakami? When you got Ben Rice, I personally have a tough time on that. Francis, what do you say?
I think Okamoto makes way more sense. When you think about it, you're talking about a guy who essentially puts McMahon and Ben Rice in the perfect platoon. So he's going to be covering McMahon in the days where Rice is playing first and he'll be playing third. The days where he's playing first, McMahon's playing third, maybe Rice is catching. And this is a guy that his versatility, pays a ridiculous amount of dividends. When you look at a guy like Murakami, it's the sexier name just because you've been hearing it for much longer.
That's right.
Okamoto he just hasn't gotten the same amount of coverage, or his name hasn't rung as many bells. But Murakami's been a name that you've been hearing linked to the Yankees going back 3 years now, maybe even 4. Like
more than that, like 4 years ago.
People have been talking about this since we had the first base opening way back when the Rizzo stuff happened. So yeah, for sure. Like I get people saying like, why not go with the guy that you know and whatever like that. But I feel like there's also a lot of, as high as the upside is, to me, there's also a big possibility where it's like it just doesn't work. There's also a downside that could rear its ugly head, especially here in New York. Also, I don't know, man. The Dodgers kind of have this chokehold on that market.
Yeah.
And a guy who's coming over as a true free agent that can literally just, write his own ticket wherever the hell he wants to go. It's going to be tough. And I don't really want to get into a bidding war or a negotiation war with the Los Angeles Dodgers. If Murakami is the guy that they want, that they prefer, hey, have at it. Knock yourselves out. Yeah. I'll be more than happy with Okamoto. I actually think he complements the New York Yankees a lot better because of all the points that you just said. Yeah. At the end of the day, what you're looking at with the Yankees, one of the best things about the trade deadline was getting guys like Caballero, getting guys like Ahmed Rosario. Why? Because it increased the versatility in a lineup that was otherwise very, very, very basic. It was it was like most days you looked at a couple positions and you're like, it's like trying to fit square pegs into circular. It just doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? And then you get guys like Cabby, you get guys like Ahmed. Now you got McMahon, and now all of a sudden these pieces actually fit where they are. Okamoto's another guy who's going to be a piece that actually fits where you put him.
Yep.
It's not something that you have to, it's not a stretch. So I'd like that. I like it a lot. And I also like the fact that it wouldn't cost, not because I'm trying to save the Yankees any money, because if it was up to me, they'd have to spend $100 million extra just to sign everybody, because that's how I feel about them right now. But just the fact that he's not going to cost much lets you know that he's much more of a reality.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just to give everybody a little something on him, here is his home run off of Kyle Freeman that at the time tied the game in the WBC. So it is him right here. Just a big swing, obviously generates a lot of power. That pitch right there, only 86 miles an hour. You're talking about Kyle Freeland, but again, man, a guy right here. Look, I'll be honest with you. Anybody who played on Samurai Japan, I'm interested in. Because these dudes ball. These dudes ball.
They play the game the right way. They don't
100%.
They don't miss pitches. They don't strike out. They take their walks. They run the bases well. They play sound defense. I mean, you look at the Japanese. We're about to get a great look at them in a couple months. You look at that team that they send, especially the last couple WBCs, and I mean, whether we like it or not, right? Sitting here as someone who's Dominican or whatever, to say this is very difficult. But this is a country that has been representing baseball in a very, very good way these last couple of years. Just the way that they approach the game, the way, the seriousness, the discipline, it's really tough to knock it. It really is. So I'm with you, man. If he's good enough for them, he's good enough for me.
And I just saw the comment in there saying, guys, we need people that don't strike out. Well, that's exactly any Japan players don't do that. Like Murakami's one of the guys that really sell out for power in Japan. Most Japanese hitters are not strikeout guys. They're taught to put the ball in play. Adam Jones had a great segment about this when he played in Japan. He said the first thing they are taught to do is to put the ball in play. They are not taught about building power to swing and miss. It's not what they do. So their style of play actually matches what we've been begging the New York Yankees to do for years, is to get some of these guys that actually put the ball in play. And, you know, getting a guy like him, and then you're also adding a Bichette, let's say, for an example. When it came to my club, Francis, the only thing that I started to then think about for my offense was, because I got Wells still at catcher. I'm not getting off Wells. I got my first base being Ben Rice. I got, Jazz at second base, McMahon at third base. Then, of course, Akamoto behind those guys and could still play almost just about every single day and get a shit ton of at-bats. Shortstop, Bo Bichette. Left field, Jason Dominguez. I'm sorry. I'm going Jason Dominguez all day. This is a kid that has too many tools that the Yankees missed last year and too many tools that they need. And again, I go back to the common question. Pete, you had to trade one of these shortstops. Who are the guys they're trading? I trade Spencer Jones over Jason Dominguez. My only question then comes down to, well, I do still want a good defensive center fielder then. That's why I said earlier, I keep Trent Grisham potentially to see where that ends up and potentially consider that. Other free agents that are out there are not amazing. Would you do a reunion with Harrison Bader? Do you look for potential trades that could be out there? I don't know, but I still know they need a good defensive center field. Now, a lot of people might sit there and go, well, Pete, why don't you just go ahead and plug Jones in center field then? Because it worries me still. It still worries me. I'm not personally sold on him. I am personally sold on Dominguez's bat. I think the bat is going to be there. I want to see him get a lot of work. There is rumors out there he will be playing in the Winter League. So that's good. Hopefully they just throw him out there and leave him in left field and get as many reps as he possibly can. But early free agency, do I see the Yankees going after Tucker? No. I don't think so personally. Could be wrong on that. Maybe they will. I don't think they do. I'll throw it to you, Francis, though. You talk about kind of where you have your team at and what's kind of the missing thing. For me, every time I do this stuff, I'm stuck at center. I'm like, who's the center fielder? That I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll start by saying, though most of the year I thought, going into 2026, it wouldn't shock me if the outfield on opening day was Judge in right, Jones in center, Dominguez in left, right? And I stood on that square for a large part of the season. And then the season went on, and I saw kind of how they treated Dominguez and the promo that they were doing for Spencer Jones. And then the stuff happened with Judge's arm and stuff like that. And obviously, things kind of changed, right? And now I'm at the point where I feel like I'm not going to tell you guys that here in October I know 100% how it's going to shake out, but I'd bet an exorbitant amount of money that the outfield on opening day isn't Judge Jones Dominguez. I don't know why. I can't. I'm just telling. My gut feeling is that for some way, somehow, one of those three is not in the outfield on opening day.
And there's also a high risk that Dominguez will be traded. Let's keep it straight. There's also a very high risk Jason Dominguez could be traded this offseason.
So where does that lead me? Well, that leads me in a couple different directions, right? Because Judge is the staple. So you're really only talking about two different positions, right? And when you go to center field and the options available there, well, they're much better than what you got in left. So if you do re-sign a Cody Bellinger, for instance, you're making Cody Bellinger automatically your left fielder because you're going to give Spencer Jones center field. I mean, okay, cool. Like, am I going to be mad opening day 2026 with an outfield of Judge, Jones, and Belly? No. I think that defensively, that's probably going to be a pretty freaking sound outfield. Offensively, jury's out. Sorry. I know what we saw in the minors, but the jury's still out for me. Jones is going to have to show it to me in the bigs for me to really believe. That's just where I'm at. Now, all that being said, I'd love Dominguez to be the left fielder. I'm just not sold that the Yankees believe in him. I'm just not.
Yep.
I really think that even if he is still on the team, I still think he's just not the guy. I still think they might be like, no, we view him as more of a fourth outfielder at this point. Like some nonsense like that, I think is going to happen over
I can
him
see it.
being the opening day starting left fielder. That's what I see. Now, that means that there's spots to fill. An interesting thing, obviously, is Kyle Tucker, right?
Mhm.
Now, you say you can't see them going for. I really can't argue with you or anybody who says, Francis, I just can't see them going for it, right?
Would I like him? I would never get upset about it. He's too good, but
of
I
course
just
not.
don't. I don't see the Yankees.
You don't see them doing it. Now, here's my thing. Kyle Tucker, end of the Cubs season, pretty much gave the Juan Soto answer, but in the Kyle Tucker fashion, right?
Right.
Yeah, could be back here, could be playing with these guys. If not, it was fun, guys. Liked playing with you. But yeah, I'm gonna be testing free agency. That to me shows that this is a guy who's going to be out there looking for the contract, looking for the money. And for me, I don't know how you can just be the New York Yankees and sit there when a guy that freaking good who would compliment Judge that freaking much is out there for just money.
Mind you, if you remember last year, we talked a lot about Soto. Why did we want to trade for him? Because he's a lot like him.
Exactly. In terms of offense,
exactly. He's a lot like him in terms of the offensive profile of a player. That's why we liked him so much. The
way that Kyle Tucker would compliment Judge, look, as good as Cody was at doing it this year, Kyle Tucker's that much better. And again, for the people who would say, like, I mean, but if you can get Bellinger for cheaper, why not? Because Kyle Tucker really is that much better. He really is that. Kyle Tucker, if he played for the Yankees, I think his home runs go up by like 7 more or something like that this season.
It is that, yeah.
Like you look at his spray chart, you look at his number. The dude it's very similar to Soto in that you look at the profile offensively and you say it's almost like this guy was made to hit in Yankee Stadium ahead of a guy like Aaron Judge. It really is that good. Now, do the Yankees realize how big of a loss the Soto stuff was? I don't know, right? And I think that's really what gives most people the trepidation that it's like these Yankees really might just sit there and feel like, I mean, we don't have to pay this guy. Like we can get Belly and be just as good. I mean, honestly, why would we spend the more money to get that guy? Well, because you kind of did this already. This is the point I was trying to make before. Years ago, Rizzo was the first baseman. He hit free agency along with Freddie Freeman, and Matt Olson was on the trade market. And we had the conversation, right? I remember we might have done a round table or something, but I remember me, you, Christian. I remember having a conversation. Who's your first baseman?
Yeah.
Who's your first baseman? Who do you sign? Who do you go for? None of us chose Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
None of us chose Anthony.
No, we all passed him.
Right.
We all passed
everybody.
on him.
I mean, it was either Olsen or Freeman. And most of us were dead set on Olsen.
Yeah.
But our backup was, if we can't get Olsen in trade, pay Freeman. Pay Freeman. That's what we all said. The Yankees said, no, why would we do that? This guy's just as good. We can be just as good with this guy. This is the problem with the mentality of the New York Yankees. You keep settling for we can be just as good or whatever, and it's never just as good. So why play the game again with Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker? Why not right that wrong and not even have to admit it? Because the beauty of it is they could right that wrong at first base from years ago and they wouldn't even have to admit it. I mean, it's the perfect crime.
Correct.
It's your dream crime, Cashman. Your dream. You don't even got to admit the mistake. You just go out there and say, yeah, Kyle Tucker was available. Obviously, we love what Cody brought to the table, but I mean, Kyle Tucker's at the top of the market, and we're the Yankees. Why shouldn't we be shopping at the top of the market? We made him a deal. He accepted. He's a New York Yankee for the next, 7, 8 years, whatever it's going to be. To me, that's what it should be. Now, like I said, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen. And if I had to bet on it, the chances would be very slim because, I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I'm with you, bro. It's tough. Put that aside. The rumblings about Stephen Kwan.
Yeah. Yeah, the trades. Yep.
Stephen Kwan is a guy. I had a reel on him this year or whatever. Stephen Kwan is one of my favorite baseball players in all of baseball. Right? I know he doesn't get talked about like one of the top 10 guys or whatever, and rightfully so. I don't think he's top 10 in baseball. But where he is top 10, in my opinion, is, and he's really right there at the freaking top,
Yep.
leadoff hitters.
Yep.
Steven Kwan is the quintessential leadoff hitter. Okay.
Yep.
If you all remember, just last year in the postseason, he was one of the most annoying at bats in that Guardians lineup.
You always feel like he's going to do something. He's one of those guys. He's a pest.
Exactly. Every time he came up, Pete took the words right out of my mouth. Every time he came up, you just feel like this kid's going to do something here. Like, we're not going to get him out. We're just not going to get him out. Wouldn't you like to have that feeling? And you might be saying, for instance, as opposed to what feeling? I'm glad you asked. The feeling that we have 90% of the time when somebody steps up to the plate for the Yankees in October, when we're like, I know how this is going to go. I know what's going to happen here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Or hey, in some cases, just good night.
Yep.
Wouldn't you like to have that feeling at the top of your lineup with Aaron Judge in the hole and whoever on deck saying, well, we know this guy's going to do something. Yeah. So they're in trouble here, and they know it because he's not going to go down without a fight. And the guy on deck hits in front of Aaron Judge. We might be in business here. Wouldn't you like that feeling? Well, if you would, Steven Kwan may very well be available.
Yeah, he's entering his 5th year. Yep. So that arbitration's going up.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some people online talk about, but the OPS is, is 705. I'm like, man, shut up. Shut up. That's one of those things where it's like, bro, shut up. Do you understand the type of table setter the dude is at the end of the day? Like, that's the type of shit that you're looking for a guy like Steven Kwan to do, and also great defense. But I want to stay on Kwan for a second. Let me get to David Miser's super chat here. I know a lot of people like Tucker wouldn't be stuck with him. Wouldn't we be stuck with him for right field then? Judge's center. We did that. Was not a fan of it. That's why I like Belly. I'm going to ask Francis actually a question about some of that. Rocket Man says, Bo Bichette would be nice to sign, solve shortstop. Grunt, welcome back to the U, brother. Appreciate you, man. And I think that was the last one, but I do got a couple of questions on that.
Sure.
Steven Kwan, one is, if he does become available, it's a great fit for the Yankees. But two, the Yankees also make a great trade partner because they got a shit ton of starting pitching.
Exactly.
So Cleveland can say, do we want to take a younger prospect or do we want to take somebody that's been there and that's doing it now? Well, we got all of that. It's like a buffet when it comes to our pitching. What would you like?
What do you need?
What do you need? What floats your boat to make this deal? Here's my question to you, Steven Kwan. If you commit to that deal, are you putting him in left field? Or are you putting him in center field? And do you think Jason Dominguez has to be a part of that deal? Because I think he would be.
I think Jason Dominguez goes in that deal. I think Cleveland can see the potential in a guy like Dominguez. I also think that Cleveland can see the opportunity with a guy like Dominguez and say, we can work with him. Like, we can work with him out there. We'll figure out a way to make him a serviceable left fielder. He might never be a Gold Glover out there, but the kid's too athletic to be that bad. I can see plenty of teams look at Jason Dominguez and see. I guarantee you, plenty of teams saw him get pinch hit for and come in and get that double and say, I mean, these guys just don't know what the hell's doing. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. This kid comes in cold as ice, hasn't swung a bat in weeks, and rips a double in the tightest game of the year for them. I mean, this kid is just unfazed, and they don't even want to play him. I guarantee you that the other 29 teams look at that just be like, oh my God, if we could steal this guy from them right under their noses, we'd make him a superstar just for the spite of it. We'd make him a star. Cleveland, to me, wouldn't shock me if they said that. And also, Dominguez is a guy that really fits the profile of that lineup. Like he does. Yeah, I mean, Steven
Kwan feels like a guardian almost, which is crazy to actually think about. He actually does feel like a guardian player.
Listen, Steven Kwan would be a huge loss in that lineup, but I mean, you pair Dominguez there with a guy like Jose Ramirez, who you know is a guy that Dominguez looks up to, coming from the DR, growing up where he did. Like you're putting him there with veterans that he can relate to, people who are going to take him over, put him aside. And I guarantee if they traded for him, one of the first conversations would be, hey, we didn't bring you here to have you ride bench. You're going to be playing.
You're playing every day.
You're going to be our guy, and we want to put you in the best position to succeed. I think all of that is going to just be beneficial to Jason Dominguez, and he might be somebody who sometime around it comes back and makes us pay for it. But if we get Steven Kwan in the deal, I'm willing to do it. I'm honestly willing to do it. I think Dominguez does go in that deal. I think it would be Dominguez and probably two arms.
So then Stephen Kwan obviously goes to left field, his best position.
Stephen Kwan will be in left.
Now you'd have center field open.
Yeah.
What would be your target there in that regard? Is there a name out there? Is there a free agent?
So
Would
if
you
we
consider
get,
a reunion with Harrison Bader if you got something like that, or has that boat kind of sailed for you with a guy like Harrison Bader?
Harrison Bader is very interesting because
Crazy to say that after everything, that he's still such an interesting name. And again, guys, let me just make sure everybody knows while we're saying something like that. We're talking about if we made all those other moves. If I got all these other guys and center field was just open and like we want a good defensive center fielder. Like for me, if I'm keeping Dominguez in left and I didn't make that deal for an example, I want a good defensive center fielder.
Yeah.
What other names are out there? That's why I said I thought Bader still is somebody I would kind of keep in that folder of we can talk to, we can reach out to.
Yeah. Bader's very interesting to me. I mean, right-handed also. I mean, when you talk about the offense and then what he's able to do with a glove, we saw it when he was here. We saw it with him in Philly. We've seen it pretty much everywhere that he goes. He's a bulldog. I mean, he goes out there and he plays like his hair's on fire, and you kind of love
a great year.
So he's a very interesting candidate. The one thing I will say, I don't know how Philadelphia doesn't just lock him in and say, hey, you just look like a Philly. Like you look like you just need to be here. Like what's it gonna take, Harrison? Like let's make it work.
I think they will.
I feel like Bader's the kind of guy who would really have enjoyed his time in Philly. I don't have any information on how he liked it. But from people that we know and are close to, apparently like he got there and fit like a glove immediately.
Yep.
Wouldn't shock me if he's just back in Philly. So he's an interesting candidate. What I would say though, if they are able to pull off a trade for Kwan, that's a situation where now I am open to the conversation of, you don't necessarily need Kyle Tucker now. Why do I say that? Because instead of a Kyle Tucker now, you go a little bit cheaper with Cody Bellinger, but you have the ridiculous outfield now. Now this is a ridiculous. Listen, you guys, I'll talk about the offense in a second. Defensively, what you're looking at with left field Kwan, center field Belly, right field Judge. I don't know the last time that I saw a Yankee outfield like that.
No, it's phenomenal.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I'm talking defense right now. The funny thing is, those same three names may very well be your top 3, 1, 2, 3 in the lineup.
Yeah.
Kwan, Belly, Judge. Now, how you want to do it, how you want to flip. I mean, again, because plenty of times they put Judge second, they put Cody after, whatever. You never know how they do. But that's a situation where if Kwan's already in the fold, am I okay with just saying, if Kwan's in the fold, to me, that bodes way better for a guy like Cody Bellinger because now he fits way more than a Kyle Tucker does. Kyle Tucker can't play center field. So
you don't want
if you get a guy like Kwan, then what are you talking about? And even before, when I brought him up, some people say, but I mean, Kyle Tucker's a right fielder. Somebody say, oh, you want to move Judge to center or whatever? No, I don't want to see Judge in center ever.
We don't want to see that again.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm much more leaning to Judge off the field than I am from leaning him to play any other position than right field right now.
Agreed.
With what we saw this year, with what we saw with the injury and all stuff like that, look, he's going to be 34 at the start of next year. I'm not saying he's a geezer. I'm not going to start talking about, the decline is coming. I'm not doing any of that nonsense, but prepare yourselves, guys, because it is coming. Just know it's going to be a narrative here very soon. The decline of Aaron Judge, is it this season? It's coming, okay? It's going to happen. That being said, you got 2 more years of Giancarlo Stanton. We didn't see playoff G this year.
Yep.
We did not see playoff G this year.
Not at all.
I don't know if that was an indication of just what Giancarlo Stanton is, but I have to be honest with you, bro. What I saw this year was like, oh man, I don't know, buddy. This what I saw in the postseason, I'm talking about, not the regular season. What I saw in the postseason was like, yeah, man, this might be it. Because I feel like it was a situation where it was like, I mean, he didn't play all year and somehow he looked worn come October. And this guy is a guy that, you've spoken about it tons of times. He's beat up. His body just isn't what it used to be. It's really messed up. He's really broken down. And it's another year older in 2026. And we already know what this guy is and there's no other option. Yes, he played a couple innings in the outfield for it, but we're not looking at that to be a real option. Come on, guys. We're not doing that anymore. So again, we're looking at another year where it's like, well, Giancarlo Stanton's your DH. And it's like, how many times can we say this before there's actually an action taken on it? Can you afford to continue to have Giancarlo Stanton clogging up the DH when you know that Aaron Judge needs those DH days, when Ben Rice is going to, benefit from some of those DH days?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's right freaking there for you. So it's like, is this the year where you start to see that Stanton role diminish even more? I think if the Yankees are going to win in 2026, and as of right now, I have no indication why I would believe even remotely that they're going to win in 2026. I'm just going to say that now. But if they were, I think Stanton's role is diminished. However that's so. That's why I'm talking about a Kyle Tucker and stuff like that or whatever, because obviously he's a guy that comes here. Yeah, both him, Judge, Rice, all these guys also got to get DH at bat. So it does muddy things a little bit. And people might say they'll bring up the money, right, bro? But again, go look at the contract. Look at the way that it's structured. Look at the AAV. Look at the stuff. His luxury tax hit goes down these last couple years.
Correct.
I think it's around 22 million now. Like that's what it's going to be. So while that's not nothing. It's also not this significant, almost $30 million a year or whatever. No,
it's nothing crazy. It's not an insane. It's not an insane level deal.
It's not.
Going back to Stephen Kwan, because I think somebody in the chat said, "People, would you make that trade?" If Jason Dominguez is in that deal, I'd still have a tough time, and I tell you why. Dominguez, in my opinion, offensively could profile as a better Stephen Kwan. And that might sound bananas to some people, but let me just explain to you why I say that. We got a chance to see Jason Dominguez lead off this year at probably not his highest level of talent, right? We obviously, this is not the best Jason Dominguez that we're going to see, we think. But we got a chance to see him lead off, and what did he do as a leadoff hitter? I think he hit over 300, but on top of that, he saw a lot of pitches. He walked. We've seen Dominguez getting 7, 8, 9 pitch ABs. We've seen Jason Dominguez take, go from 0-2 to 3-2. We've seen Jason Dominguez just this year have a 330 on base percentage, which I believe matched Stephen Kwan's this year. We've seen Jason Dominguez be able to, if you double his at-bats, right? Let's just say, for an example, we say, well, let's say, what would Dominguez do in a full year this year? Like, based on the numbers he had? Well, I think it's fair to say he would have been close to 20 homers. He would have probably had 40 plus stolen bags. And even if he hit 255, 250, and had a 330 something on base percentage, it's an unbelievable year. That's a phenomenal season. And that's the guy we saw this year.
Yeah.
So my big thing was Dominguez. And my big thing with Jason Dominguez is just get the fucking kid to learn to play better outfield. Get your best out there. Like, to me, the scariest thing about this is, Francis said it, and he's right. If this was an organization like the Guardians, I'm like, oh, he's going to be an average defender next year. Watch.
Exactly.
Watch the improvement you see from Jason Dominguez. But when it's the New York Yankees, I'm like, what do they do in the offseason? Do they really have somebody verifying this? It's like, we're going to get our guy out there to help you out in left field? Like, what are they doing to ensure that, hey, he put in the work? Like, he looks better, I'm telling you. Let's see. Like, they're the one organization, unfortunately, the one that we love, that I just don't trust them to get him better defensively and to really work with him. And maybe we're wrong, and maybe they will. And it could also just be how we all feel, because if you got eyes and ears and a brain, you can tell the Yankees aren't the biggest fans of this kid. It's clear as day. So all this could be a moot point. He could just be traded. And we're sitting here saying that. But I did want to ask you one more thing, and also to chat. We are kind of leaving Spencer Jones out here. If the Yankees, if my team, I'm considering, Dominguez is a left. Your team is saying, all right, I got Stephen Kwan in left field. On both of our teams, is there a chance that Spencer Jones is the center fielder?
Yeah. I think it's real. I think it's realistic. Honestly, I really do. I see the way that they propped him up the second half of the season towards the end of the year. And I really think that the Yankees are extremely high on the kid. Am I in lockstep with that? Absolutely not.
Me either.
I I think fearful is the best way that I can put it without sounding negative on him. Because there's not anything negative that
It's a good word.
I want to say.
That's a good word to use. I'm with
is-
you on that.
Yeah, it's just I'm fearful. I feel like I don't know. Like I said it already, and I got the pushback. I don't care. I think the people who argued back with me were wrong. His swing is long. There are holes there. It's not smooth. It's not fluid, and I feel like he's a nightmare matchup against some of the better pitchers in the league, especially the freaking American League East where we play. I mean, I'm trying to picture him, going up against a guy like Crochet, and I'm just like, oh my god, like. I'm not trying, but like Pete, could you see that? Like what that would look like? What Gossman's gonna be able to do to that swing? What Bayo's gonna be able to do to that swing? What I mean, I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. And then that it's needless to say, I mean, you got your Tariq Skubals over there in Detroit.
Of course.
Just,
and
it's fear. I'm fearful.
You're fearful. Fearful is a great word. That's probably the best way I've heard of explaining it, because every time I say it, people are like, oh, you just don't like him. No, it has nothing to do. He scares me. I'm fearful of
what's not to like actually about him.
Yeah, there's a lot to like there. Yeah. There's the height, there's the speed, there's the athleticism, there's the power, there's all that. There's a good defense. There's all of that to like. The craziest thing about Spencer Jones is, I'm going to give it to you guys just like this. A lot of people are sitting out there. Not a lot of Yankee fans are even mentioning his name to play center field next year. It's not the trend out there right now. They're talking about Cody Bellinger. You guys remember, and a lot of you did this. A lot of you out there did this, and it's not a knock because I've been wrong. France has been wrong. We've all been wrong. I remember a lot of people arguing with me when I was saying, go get a shortstop, and everybody's saying, but you got Volpe. Are you mad? You got Anthony Volpe, Pete. Why you go spend money on these guys? Look what he did in AAA and AA. What are you doing? But I don't see the same thing with Jones that Volpe rightfully got, because he dominated AA. Rightfully so, people were hype. But Jones had his best year in the minor leagues. And there was only that one time frame there where everybody was going nuts about him. But then it kind of died out again. And just this offseason, you don't have everybody saying, why would you even bring back Cody Bellinger when you got him? Unless you want to put Belly in left field and put him in center field. Okay, we'll do that. But you don't really see that much people jumping up and down for Spencer Jones. And look, I think Spencer Jones has the chance to be a really good player. The one thing I like about Spencer Jones, that I'll be honest about, I like that he's making adjustments. That he's trying stuff.
Tinkering. Yep.
Because to me, it's also very clear that not every person in the Yankees organization is also sold on him. I don't believe they are. I believe there's a lot of people in that system that's like, this ain't gonna be it.
There's discourse, you can tell. There has to be. It has to be.
It would not shock me.
It's not like Volpe.
No, it's definitely Volpe. Everybody bought in.
And I think Volpe might have had one or two people who may have pushed back, but the majority was like, no, he's the guy.
Yeah,
he's the guy.
No doubt about it.
I don't feel that with Spencer.
No, me either. And look, it also wouldn't shock me if Spencer Jones is traded this offseason. As I made a prediction.
Yeah.
I made a prediction that, they're probably going to keep him in AAA just to dominate and light those numbers up. So then there's the possibility that you go into the offseason, you got this guy that had an amazing year. He's so young, hype him up a lot, potentially trade him for something you need.
Might be the best thing you could do.
Could be.
He won Prospect of the Year for them, him and ERC.
And look, I've said this is something I've said for a long time too. I'm never going to knock the Yankees at the saying, we believe in this guy, we're going to play him. Okay. If that's what you're going to do and you're really going to play him, not the type of shit you pulled with us with Jason Dominguez this year, where you guys all said he's the left fielder, and then all of a sudden he wasn't at all. We're never really given a full chance. If you're going to sit there and go, you know what? We like these young kids in the outfield. We're going to go with them this year. We signed Bichette. That was our big acquisition. We signed him. Maybe they go out there. He signed the Japanese player, or one of those two that's out there. Maybe they do that. and they say, this is the team we're going to run with. If they do that, then respect to them for doing that. Respect to them for believing in that. But we'll see. As there's also a super chat here. Speaking of Spencer Jones, would you trade Jones for starting pitcher Sandy Alcantara? The Yankees should go after Bichette for shortstop. Have re-signed Bellinger, move Louis Heel to the bullpen. Louis Heel in the bullpen, not the best idea. Keep that man as a starting pitcher, get him healthy. And see what you got there, or potentially another guy that could possibly be traded. David adds in, Pete, I'm sorry, but I want your followers to know, stop bringing up trades for G. He's not going anywhere. So just a reminder is all, everybody's tired of hearing about it. Okay. And then Rocket Man said, team is way too lefty. Alonso, Bichette plus Quan and King would be a perfect offseason. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that Alonso and Bichette were lefties. Nope. I get what you mean there, but I don't.
Add all the righties.
Do you even want to talk about Alonso? Because that's, in my opinion, there's no chance of that happening. We had the chance now to get him for barely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about Alonso's looking for something around 7 years. I don't know. I don't know who gives him the 7 years. Do the Mets give him the 7 years? I don't know. Should the Mets give him the 7 years? Yeah, but should the Yankees do that? I don't know. Here's what I will say. I am much more open to the prospect of Pete Alonso being a Yankee than I was after last year.
Wow. Okay.
And I'll say that because what I saw this year was the beginning of Rocket Man's super chat. That sentiment that the Yankees were way too left-handed at times, and you just saw the lack of another right-handed bat that could complement Aaron Judge in the lineup. We just didn't have it. But I feel like Bo is that guy. Like, I feel like Bichette is that guy. And I feel like Bichette checks off more boxes than even a Pete Alonso does. No, he doesn't hit as many home runs as Alonso. Clearly not. But again, not bringing him here for that. Steven Kwan, to me, not bringing him here for that. That's not what I want those guys for. If you notice, the guys that I talked up more than anything, Bo Bichette and Kwan, those are the two guys I've really talked up in this show. Those aren't home run guys. But I am precisely doing that because those aren't home run guys. There's
Okamoto puts the ball. That's the guy. We talked about guys that kind of put the ball in play a bit.
Exactly. There's also another move that I kind of have.
Oh, he wants O'Neal Cruz. Oh my God.
I don't think it's actually not about somebody I want, but it's actually somebody that I think it might be time to move on from.
Ooh, wait. Can you give us hints first? I always find this stuff interesting. Is it a pitcher?
No.
Oh my God. You think you're going to move on from Jazz Chisholm?
He did one.
I knew it because when it wasn't a starter.
Right, yeah, he got
Jazz. You would trade Jazz now?
Here's the thing. Before people jump on their friends, what the hell are you? This guy had stole 40 bases, 30 home runs. I understand completely. Look, I want to start by saying that. Look, you guys aren't talking to a guy who doesn't know how good Jazz Chisholm is, because I feel like here at NYU, I don't think anybody has trumpeted this guy's praises more than we have and defended him more than we have. He's gotten so much shit unfairly since he became a Yankee that it's like we feel like we've almost had to defend him because it's just like every little thing he does is such a freaking problem.
Yeah. Chat, hear him out, Hear him out. Because I got an opinion on this too. Might be a little different though.
That is part of the and again, like with Simon saying Jazz is trash. See, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying trade Jazz because I think he's trash. No, I'm saying just the opposite. Actually, I'm saying that Jazz Chisholm is so freaking good that you can actually have an addition by subtraction there. Here's the issue, because obviously if I'm saying to trade him away, there has to be some issue. It's everything I just said. Everything that he says, everything that he does, the scrutiny, the amount, whatever. At this point, I'm starting to sit there. It's like, is the juice even worth the squeeze at this freaking point. I mean, we saw in game 1 of the wild cards that they didn't even start him. With the season that he put up, they still didn't put him out there.
Wild.
What that is, what the reasoning is behind that, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is the organization isn't going to change from this year to next. The same organization that sat him in game 1, the same people in charge, the same people who made that decision will be there come 2026. So what's to tell me that that's not something that can happen again next year in the playoffs? Because Jazz pouted about it and turned his back on the media when he was no, they don't care. They're not going to respond to that. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
Now I also saw, the play, game 3, stuff like that. That's a tough play. It's a tough play. Do I feel that Jazz should have made the play? In my heart of hearts, I tried to shoot him the bail. I mean, that ball was hit really hard on one bounce or whatever. The more I looked at it, I'm like, no, I need you to make that double play. I'm sorry.
Make that play.
In that game, I need you to make that double play.
Even Volpe, too. I'm not taking you off track here, but even just up the middle, the other double play that should have been made, people blame Jazz's throw. Volpe went on his knee for no reason.
For no reason.
Again. And
DeRosa called it out, though.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah, D-Ro called that shit out.
I talked about it the other day. I was like, I didn't even see it. And then D-Rose showed it multiple times. Like, oh, my God, yeah. So we're fixing multiple problems here.
Yeah.
But continue on where you want with Jazz, because I want to speak about that too.
With Jazz, to me, it's at this point, I look at it and I'm like, look, Jazz Chisholm he's a phenomenal player. But the more I look at it, I'm going to be real with you. The Yankees, I don't see them extending him this offseason. Right? I should have started there because to me, that's where it all starts for me.
Okay.
If the Yankees
go ahead.
If I trusted them to say, you know what, this is the kind of player that's electric, 40 stolen bases, 30 home runs, solid defense at second base. Like, why are we dilly-dallying with this guy? Why are we going to play the game that we always do, let him get to free agency and let the price get up to an astronomical? Why not just sit down with him this offseason and say, look, we saw what you did last year. We like you here. The fans love you. The team loves you. The guys love you. What's it going to take? Let's talk extension right now. If they were talking like that, if I believed in them to do that, I'd probably say, you know what? No, don't freaking trade him. Extend him. Have it here and have that problem solved for the next couple of years. I don't think they're going to do that because I don't think that they're as sold on him as I would be. And that's my thing. I feel like indecisiveness has killed this organization more times than we can even remember how much indecisiveness has killed us. So for my thing with Jazz is, you're not going to extend him, then why play the thing out, let him get to free agency and let him walk for nothing? Why not capitalize off of this 30 home run, 40 stolen base, solid defensive season at second base, trade it for something that we need? There's teams out there that could use a Jazz Chisholm. I mean, listen, there's a bunch of teams out there that could use a Jazz Chisholm, okay? And a lot of them would be interested if the Yankees said, yeah, we'll take some calls on that. I'm sorry. I look at it and I just wonder, do they see the fit? And maybe, okay, if they don't see the fit, are they wrong? Maybe not. But that's not Jazz's fault, all right? I don't want anybody to hear me say this and say, but he's saying that, whatever like that. No, I love Jazz Chisholm. I love the swag. I love the whatever. But it might not be the fit for this brand of Yankees. I'm sorry. They don't like the talking. They don't like the stuff that they don't like any of that stuff. They just don't like it. They don't. They don't champion him. They don't defend him the way that they freaking defended Volpe all these freaking years. They don't do none of that. No, you know what they do? They bench him in game 1 of the freaking wild card series. That's only 3 games long. That's the shit that they do. I'm like, if you're going to do that with him, if you're going to do what you did with Dominguez, it's very similar to me, like with what we talked about with Dominguez. And I'm just like, I mean, what's the point in even having guys like this when I know that the team is not really, they're not as invested. They don't really, they're not as invested. They don't believe in him the way that we do. They don't see what we see. They don't value what we value. So yeah, the 30 home runs, 40 stolen bases, yeah, they respect that. But outside of that, do they value any of the other stuff? No. As a matter of fact, I feel like in quiet moments behind the scenes, they're like, I really wish this guy would shut up. That's what I think. So I'm like, you know what? If that's how you feel about the player, if you're not going to extend the player, if you don't see him here long term, then capitalize off of this season and move on now. Because if you just let him play, have another phenomenal season in 2026, and then walk for nothing, I'm going to lose my freaking shit. Because he's right here, right now. Why not just extend him?
See, I have a different opinion on it. I wouldn't just extend him.
Oh, you'd make him play 2026.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Jazz at this point with I agree with everything you said about the talking, right? Yankees don't like that stuff. I'm with you 100%. Jazz is like when you're in a relationship with a woman. And you say, man, there's so much about her I like. But it's like, do I pop the question now or do we live together for a little while? I need to live together with her for a little while before I go ahead and pop that question with him, because I don't know what it's going to be like another year. Jazz could very well be the guy next year that we saw this year. He could be the guy that you look at and go, my man went 35-35. Jazz got the, but let's not front. He could be 40-40.
I really
Jazz
think
could be 40-40.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is not like saying, oh my God, come on. Yeah, it was 30-30 this year. He missed time. Why can't he be 40-40 at Yankee Stadium? Of course he could. So let's just say, for an example, next year, maybe he reverts a little bit. It's almost like not extending Boone when you had an option. But that's a whole nother story.
Exactly.
Jazz, to me, is one of those guys where I love the player. I love the player. Probably the best second baseman we had since Robbie Cano right now. I don't think there's really any doubt of that offensively.
Nope. Not for me. You won't get any.
So that's my only reason to say I want to just see Jazz play another year. I don't want to be committed to him yet. I'll let him play another year because how do we know what happens with that commitment?
Well, here's my thing.
And there's always a risk, right? No matter what, that's always a risk.
Right.
You never know.
You're
you
right.
never
100%.
know. But there has been some things that we see with Jazz. We're like, I just wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, a lot.
Trust me, I love it, bro. I love the punch. But you gotta fucking punch when it counts. And this is New York. This ain't Miami. Miami, you might be able to talk and get away with it. In New York, now we got you until we don't got you because you didn't hold up your end of the bargain.
Yeah, no, I disagree. Troublemaker, DJ in his prime here as a Yankee, I don't think he was better than Jazz Chisholm. I think when we remember DJ, because of those particular Yankees teams, yes, like he was the next best player after Aaron Judge on those Yankees teams. But overall, skill set wise, nah.
I'm talking about long-term potential skill set. I think he could be
Jazz
the best
Chisholm
since
brings
Cano.
a lot more to the table. But then again, but that's kind of where I'm at with it though. I feel like the Yankees are there. I feel like the Yankees are like, nah, we not extending him. Like he needs to go off in 2026 for us to do that. And if you ask me today, like, okay, so for instance, like, what's your bet then? Like, do you think he does go off in 2026 and then they say, okay, we'll pay you? I would bet no. I would bet no, he doesn't, and they don't pay him and he walks for nothing, which is why I'm saying you're not trying to spend, right? There's already the early report from Sherman came out this week. Listen, if anything, Hal might be trying to get to 275 in terms of the payroll.
Yeah, I saw that. They might want to bring it down, yep.
Listen, if all that stuff is true, then you MFers need to get creative and quick because this team is not going to do it. We saw it already.
Well, that's another reason why I say don't extend him.
Yeah.
Because if you extended him, you've taken away the possibility of saying, damn, we happen to suck next year. Like, let's be honest. Blue Jays are a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, like you said, look, with Roman Anthony, they were arguably at a time, they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the American League. He was that important to that club. And yes, one player can flip things around a little bit like that. Roman Anthony was doing that with them.
As it currently stands, we're chasing both those teams.
Potentially. And look, even if you disagree, there is real potential to that. Tampa's always somewhat tough. There's a chance that next year, we don't know anything that's happened yet. But what if there is the slight chance that the Yankees just are not that great? And it sounds crazy to say that with the pitching staff they should have, but we also never friggin' know what actually happens. But why commit when there's a possibility of you saying we're not as great as we'd hope? And we could deal them. Let's say they got Bichette. And let's say Volpe doesn't leave and Volpe's on the bench. Or they got him in AAA. Well, you got Lombard and him that could play second base eventually. So we don't necessarily have to hold on to this player. You could trade him if he's having a very good year and you go, look, we're not going to pay him. There's some struggle here. We got to understand something. With age, a lot could happen. Why do we think Garrett Cole's going to come back and be an absolute ace? He may not.
First of all, even if he is going to be an ace, it's not going to be right away. It's going to take some time. He's coming off of Tommy John.
Max Fried,
Like-
this might be his best year as a Yankee ever. You don't know if you
Temper-
get this year again.
We got
It
to
was a
temper
great year.
those Garrett Cole expectations. We got to temper those.
Who
'Cause
knows if we'll see Carlos Rodon have a year he had this year? There's a
This might have been
possibility.
his
You know.
best year also. Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying is that we're not talking about 26, 27-year-olds that are really good and you hope the projection keeps going up. Now, if somebody would ask me, do you think they're going to be a good team pitching? They should be. Yeah, of course. But you never know. Why lock into a commitment if you don't necessarily have to? That's my thing. And again, look, if we really loved it, are you going to pay him more if he had a 40-40 or another 30-30? Yeah, of course, you are going to pay him more. But the Yankees should be able to battle with anybody if they really wanted to keep him.
There's
so-
also, sorry, I'm sorry to
No,
cut you.
good.
There's
Good.
also the big, I can't believe I forgot that this is one of the biggest things, but that stuff with the umpires, I never saw the adjustment from him. And that, again, as much as I love the player, as much as I love the numbers,
Gets up
that
here
was
a lot.
that was a huge disappointment for me as a fan looking at Jazz Chisholm. There was just way too many times, Jazz, where you let them take you out of the game physically and mentally. Even the games that you didn't get ejected, mentally, you let them check you out of games. And look, early in the season, dude, I was on your side, man. I was here. I was on All Rise. I was everywhere. You know, Pete was going to game season defending you, bro. We were bro. But when the same thing was happening in August, September, October, like, I can't, Jazz. I'm sorry, bro. I get it. But this is baseball. This is baseball. So we can't afford to make an enemy out of the umpire in the third freaking inning.
Yep.
And then now we got to play 6 more innings with you. These guys are human at the end of the day. Okay, you might say, well, ABS is coming, so they won't be. Yes, ABS is coming. ABS is not going to cover the multitude of sins that is the umpire. It's not.
That's right.
It's not. I know that it's a very good move and it's a step in the right direction. It's not going to fix everything. The umpires are still going to be on the field and they are still going to have power and they are still going to be calling these games.
Yep.
They're not completely getting neutered. They will still have a say in these outcomes. Now, I'm not saying that umpires that, they're going to go one way or the other, whatever like that, but it doesn't help. It does not help us that you put that target on your back in spring training and then you kind of just wore it like this badge of honor when it kept making all of us look stupid.
Yep. That's right.
Every freaking month of the season, there was something with you and the umpire. And I know, bro, they were targeting you. I know. I said it, bro. They were targeting you. They started from spring training. They were targeting you. But I also went to the stadium, bro, and saw games where you got into it with the umpire early in the game, and then the next 2 at-bats after that were strikeouts easy because you weren't
nothing.
You
Like he
weren't
wasn't
locked in.
there. Yep.
You were flailing up this, whatever like that, because you were still thinking about that first at-bat where they cheated you. And that's the problem. For me, that's my issue, where it's like, if the Yankees are saying, dude, I'm sorry, we got to see more because I'm not extending that. As good as the home runs and the stolen bases and the defense may be, I'm sorry, can we really extend that? I don't know, whatever. I don't know, bro. But to me, that was one of the biggest disappointments and one of the biggest reasons why I'm like, look, as much as you might like New York might not be that market for you. As much as you may thrive here and stuff like that, it might still not be that perfect situation for you. Maybe you go to a different team and the target's a little bit smaller, whatever, and you continue to put up those numbers and you're a freaking all-star and you do your thing and you live out your years happy, having a freaking ball the way you should be, because nobody should steal Jazz Chisholm's joy on the baseball field. That's one of his freaking superpowers out there. But I saw too many times this season, where he allowed those umpires to do it, and it put us in bad situations.
Agreed.
We're not winning. We're not going to be winning games if our starting second baseman is getting the boot.
Yeah.
Several times a year because he's fighting with it. And then the stuff. I mean, it's just, again, I hate to freaking speak like that and be that freaking guy, whatever, because like it's really not who we are. But at the end of the day, I also can't lie. And the reason that I brought up the possible trade, I just feel like, look, man, if there's a world out there where you can trade him and get something that's really going to help this team or whatever like that, I'm sorry, I don't know how you don't consider it.
Can I, before we get ready to sign off here, can I throw one very intriguing name at you real quickly?
Does he play for Arizona?
He does not, actually.
Okay.
He does play with a team that starts with an A, and his last name also starts with an A. Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question then, Chad, because this is going to be nuts. Because Ronald Acuna is a top 5 player when he's healthy in the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Ronald Acuna could easily play center field. He could play left field. He could do whatever he wants. Problem is, he's always injured.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna just cannot stay on the field. Is that somebody that, if he was available, can you seriously look to take that risk? Or do you simply just say there's too much injury here, man? Like, it just doesn't make sense for us personally. Or do you look at then and go, this dude is too damn good. If he is available, I'm going for it. He's in no matter what, injuries or not, he's gonna cost a shit ton. You're gonna pay for him.
Whew, that's a tough fucking question, bro. It's crazy because I mean the freaking the skill is tantalizing. I mean, this guy.
Let me just throw this up here for what he did this year, right? You're talking about 338 at bats only. He had 290 with 21 home runs. He had a 163 OPS plus in only 338 at bats. So this is like an extremely, extremely good player. Exceptionally good player.
I'd go out on the ledge and say I've always looked at him as right-handed Soto. To me, that's how
27.
When the kid is healthy and he's firing on all cylinders in the batter's box, he's right-handed Soto. He's that freaking dangerous. Like you every freaking pitch you need to be careful because this kid will make you freaking pay. The big question is when he's healthy, though. And that, I mean, we have, bro. We've seen that go left so many freaking times for us.
Yep.
So it's so scary, but
it's a major risk.
I'm gonna say I'm. Damn it, bro! I can't pass on that. I'm sorry. I know people can say, "Oh my God, you're crazy, man. How could you?" I can't just because on the off chance that we do get the one full freaking season from him, the glory that's gonna be epic, just epic.
Yeah, and
it's a big if. I know it's a big if. I know because his
it is
and everything, and it's freaking. That's the thing. It's not just that he's injured; it's the kind of injuries, bro.
You'd have him through 2028, so he'd be a free agent in 2029 because he has team options and it's only $17 million. So it's legitimately nothing. But the only reason
he's not making
making money, and that's the reason why I just bring him up. The only reason I bring him up is because I actually believe this is going to be a name you're going to start hearing about. Believe it or not, Atlanta's in a very weird situation.
Yes,
and Acuna risking the wait for him is a bit scary for them when they could potentially still sell him at a very high clip. Yes, is why I think there's a possibility here. Now, there is the legitimate concern is what you said. He doesn't play. So he's been in the league since 2018. The most games he's ever played is 159. The most after that is 156. After that, it goes to 119. Well, after that, it goes to 111. And after that, it goes to 95, which is actually this season. Then it goes to the 80s. Then it goes to the 40s. Is a guy who has missed a lot of time at bats throughout his career. 433, 626, 160, 297, 467, 643, 192, 338. And there's been a lot of leg injuries. That's my only concern with him. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the New York Yankees.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the New York Yankees. And when you can add a level of talent to this game like him, and also, can I say one more thing? There's also been some rumors out there that him and a Snicker at that time, they haven't really seen eye to eye. I'm not saying that's not why he played. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, for a 28-year-old dude that has stole 70-plus bases, hit 40 homers, is an MVP, is a phenomenal defender, arm that is dumb. Remember when he threw out Vivas this year from right field on the fly like it was a joke? And yeah, if anybody's saying, Pete, who do you surrender? Whatever you're interested in, we can figure out a deal here. Because that is a name where I wouldn't be upset with Brian Cashman for taking a risk. I don't look at Acuna and go, oh, come on, but he's been injured since he's been in. How do they do that? How do you not do it if it's there?
Here's my thing.
That's all I'm just saying. How do you say no to something like that?
Here's my pushback to people who would say, I mean, how do you do? Well, we pay Giancarlo Stanton similar money for the same thing or less.
They knew he had no legs, by the way.
Exactly. You're talking about essentially an almost identical deal to the Stanton deal, former MVP, slugger with injury concern and everything like that. But it's shorter, and I think I'm almost certain it's way less money.
Okay, I'll give you that right now, so you know, just ahead of time. 2020, bro, it's $17 million a year. 2026, 17. Then he got 2 team options in a row for $17 million. You'd be nuts. It's chump change for the Yankees.
Wait, so you're telling me the only guaranteed year left is next season?
The only guaranteed year is next season. Then it's all team options, and you could even do a buyout.
Oh, come on. No,
that's what I'm saying. The contract is. But here's the thing.
I thought it was a couple more years.
It's not only. No, that's the thing too. But it's not only 2027 team option. You got 28 also.
Yeah.
That you just say 17 million again back to back.
Yeah. No, I do that shit. I do that shit in a heartbeat. Worst case scenario, he comes over, he gets injured or whatever. You let it, then you don't pick up the option the next year. Bye. Okay, didn't work out. But on the I'm telling you, this is the thing I'm talking about. On the chance that it did work out. And again, you know, we're talking about all these things. I think people also forget this kid's 28 years old, 27, 29, 28. They're saying right, he's 28. 28 years old. I mean, remember when Aaron Judge had that narrative about him when he was freaking young as shit, and they were, well, he's injury prone, he's gonna be injured every freaking year or whatever. And he found a way to turn it around. Who knows if this kid can't turn that narrative around? Also, who knows if the best decision for him may be at some point here soon to say, hey man, as good as the arm is and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know how much I can justify running out there to that field. Maybe I just need to focus on being a hitter. And it sucks, but my hit tool is just that freaking good. If I can stay out on the field,
he's that type of player, you're right.
If I can stay in that lineup every day, again, a lot of players don't want to do it. It's a way tougher road to the Hall of Fame. I understand it. But if anybody has the bat to do it, it's Ronald Acuna. Yep. Trust and believe. Yep. Also, this is a kid who gets it. He understands the assignment, ladies and gentlemen. If he came over here and he put on this jersey, he is going to show his ass when Boston comes to town. He is going to show his ass when we go to Toronto. He is going to drag his nuts all over Houston. And you already know what he does in Queens, so there's not even a need to bring that up, okay? This is a kid who gets it, okay? For those who have doubts or whatever, like, I don't know, whatever. If this kid became you'd fall in love with him almost instantaneously, so long as he was healthy for you to do it.
Yep.
But if it's only the 1 year guaranteed, bro, if it's only the 1 year guaranteed and everything after is team options, I'm sorry. To me, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. To me, they should be on the phone now.
What also goes along with what we're saying is it doesn't prevent you from signing Bo Bichette.
Nope.
Imagine you can sit there and then you could talk about guys like Harrison Bader, to be honest, for, center field. I mean, at that point, who gives a shit? Even if, what? I'll make one even better. If Dominguez goes in, let's say Dominguez goes in that deal. Put Spencer Jones in center field, no problem. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, why not?
Spencer, look, if you strike out that many times and, you're going to play every day. Put you in center field, you're going to play good defense for us. Or whatever, maybe you could find a defensive center fielder. But if you added Bo Bichette and Ronald Acuna to that lineup, you got Cabby on the bench. You got you got Akamoto. You got Akamoto. Let's say your 3 offensive additions somehow is Bichette, Akamoto, and Ronald Acuna Jr. If that's a possibility.
I'm talking, if that's the case, if that's the case, then you'll be hearing me sing a much different tune going into next season. I'm talking all types of, I don't know, Yankees might be back type of shit or whatever like that.
Now, we are also talking about George being the owner basically.
Exactly, because
That's all George things. And unfortunately, we're two dumbasses here that still feel like maybe Hal would do the same type of things. But probably not. We just love the team that much.
What one-off season, right? I mean, there's still like that glimmer of hope that he'll have that one-off season when we're like, damn, maybe you did really come from this guy's genes.
Yeah, I mean, we said that with Soto, and look, where did they go that year? They went to the World Series. They were 2 games away from winning the World Series. And if you guys remember, go back to the video the day they got Soto. Listen to the words I said right after it. What did I say? This was a World Series move. And guess what it turned out to be? A World Series move. We're worse pitching than this year. Worst overall on it this year. And they got to the World Series because they put that target on their back saying, we're coming for it. And they went and got it. They lost, but they went and got it. And that's the type of moves you need to see again. Victor says Yankees need to change their hitting philosophy and approach. Last year, LA put the ball in a World Series. Volpe, Wells have to get better offensively. Rice and J-Dom defensively hit better with 2 strikes. Nothing wrong with that. David says, yes, I take a shot, but can I throw you another name? Brent Doyle of the Rockies for center field. Like Brent Doyle, I'm tired of Rocky players. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
I can't go there with that.
I would pass on the Brent Doyle stuff.
Yeah,
I get it. I see the vision. I don't know if that's for us.
M Beer says, I gotta challenge you on this one, man. Bichette scares me. We can get as good a hitter for less. Can you name me who that person is?
Yeah, who's the hitter? Who's the hitter on the market this season that's as good as Bo Bichette that's going to cost less?
Shit, who's the hitter you could really trade for that's truly available that's a better hitter overall than Bo Bichette is? Like, you're talking about upgrading a position from Anthony Volpe to Bo Bichette. Do you know how much better your team has gotten?
Ridiculously.
Like, and I'll say one more thing. People are going to
You pretty much kept the defense the same and ridiculously improved the offense.
This is like the one year where you really need Brian Cashin to be a lot more like Dave Dombrowski. And literally sit there and go, I love the youth. I'm going to take a few of the guys on the youth that I love, and everybody else I'm going to sell on. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna like, we can't keep doing this. But this is also a team that, in all reality, it's like the way I opened the show, they just don't seem to really care. It's the money's there. They're being followed by this bullshit process, and it is what it is. But yeah, there is nobody, you know. And as William Henry says, I think Bichette's defense is better than his metrics. I do too. But if you do have concern about it, is why I said you got McMahon at third base. That opens up less range. He has. How many times did Anthony Volpe get a ball that he would have the range to his right, and the person that came up with it was Ryan McMahon? Because he has that level of range.
A bunch of times.
And this is a great one. Scott said this before. I'm happy he just wrote this again. Then we're going to wrap up. Bo has hit at least 340 with runners in scoring position in 5 of his last 6 years and 330 with it in his career. This really isn't a tough conversation.
And what is the Yankees' biggest offensive liability, ladies and gentlemen? Say it with me now. Hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yep.
What
Bingo.
do you know?
Bingo.
What do you know? What do you hear?
What do you say? Top notch, top of the line. But Francis, you did want to show this. I'm going to throw this on the screen 1 second. This is why we feel, folks.
Yeah.
This is why we had this show this early.
I saw it. They got to see it too, man. Look at that.
And this is why we had this show this early in the year, because we're tired of this. Hal Steinbrenner. This is why I'm saying and by the way, let me just say this. I hope he's in good health, by the way. And I know that might sound crazy to some. I'm dead serious when I say that.
No, you're right.
I actually hope he is in good health. A lot of the Steinbrenner men, Hank had, some issues at a little older in his life where he got really sick and unfortunately passed away. So I just wanted to get that out the way. I hope Hal is actually in good health. But if he is, where the hell are you, man? We need you. It's been way too many years here that our New York Yankees have lost.
I mean,
That's
just
it
look
right
at
there.
just look at like and just when you look at the freaking names, you see Boston up there, Toronto just got their turn, Tampa had their turn, Houston. I mean, they owned us for a while. Look, and then of course the LA, and then the good old 2023. You know, we didn't even give anybody a chance that
Yeah,
year.
that was beautiful.
That year we said we'll do it ourselves. Yep.
Lost the World Series. Look at that. And then this year, look at that. Well, Francis, I mean, with that being said, you could take us out. Guys, we almost had a 3-hour show for you guys today. I had no idea. 2.5 hours. We're going to wrap this baby up, guys. I mean, this is what the U's about, man. You guys are going to never have real downtime with the Yankees being out of it. We're going to be here for you guys as much as humanly possible. I do just want to throw this out there again. We still got well over 400 people in, had over 500 this episode. Remember, guys, just do this for me. Understand that this is a very different offseason for me personally. Typically, I'm all in directed towards the Yankees. Obviously, I think you're going to notice I'm still going to be all in directed towards the Yankees, but we are close to welcoming a new baby into the world. So that is obviously going to take away a bit of my time. Mornings now, as you guys know, there's a lot of weekly appointments. So mornings with All Rise are going to be a little bit difficult to do. We're still trying to figure out what day is going to work best, but I still want All Rises to go on and all that. Founders Club members, got an email out to you guys today with a lot of updates. Merch drops that we're doing. You guys are getting first at that and, you know, what it's looking like. So just wanted to throw that out there that all the shows are still going to happen. Don't worry about it, but there may be some times where things are changed a little bit. So I will be calling games. Yes. Simon, I don't know who the hell plays tomorrow, but I'm going to call a game tomorrow. So don't worry. I will be calling games. I think the Blue Jays do play tomorrow. And I tell you what, I'm really interested in the Dodgers series, the Dodgers and Brewers.
I think the NLCS starts tomorrow.
If the NLCS starts tomorrow, that's the game I'm calling. So I will call Dodgers Brewers tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. I got you guys.
NLCS starts tomorrow from Milwaukee. Dodgers will be on the road 8 p.m. Dodgers.
Yep, I'll be calling that game tomorrow at 8 p.m. then, guys. Yes. Yep.
There you go. There you have it.
Indeed.
Hey, man. Thank you guys for rocking with us today. Longer episode. There was a ton to cover, but you guys seem to be rocking with it. Well, you know, over 500 in here at some point. Please make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, follow the Instagram, bro. The Instagram is where you get all the clips, all the freaking viral moments from the game season, the home run calls, all that stuff. You do not want to miss it. Like Pete says, the fun don't stop just because the Yankees do. This is NYY Underground. At the end of the day, we are our own brand. We keep going. So we're going to keep going right up through the freaking World Series with the podcast, with game season, with everything, man. We're trying to continue to give you guys content. Never really much downtime here. So keep it locked and stay tuned. Like I always say, the best episode will in fact be the next episode.
Damn right. And you know we will never come whack on a designated spitters track. Peace out, guys. Much love to each and every one of you. Catch you next time. Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't know.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text. From